I can't be asked waiting for you.
All levels.
We're live. Hello, everybody. Dungeon Master wanted to wait, but I didn't want to wait. It's 11 minutes past. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. We are a... get bored of saying this now. We are an RPG channel. We play lots of tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, Carbon 2185. We used to play Pathfinder. It's on hiatus at the minute. We've done Vampire. We've done Tales of the Loop. We've done Masks, I think it was called. And a variety of other things. One-shots galore and homebrew campaigns. So if you're new to the channel, great. If you're watching this on the VOD or YouTube, thank you very much. Bollocks to like and subscribe and all that. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. I don't care, as long as you're having a laugh while you're watching us. We're all over social media. Sometimes we post what we're doing, sometimes we don't, because I'm really good at the admin side of this. Tonight we're playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, which came out a couple of months ago. I'm lucky enough to be part of the Short Rest Tavern bunch on a Friday, who have just launched their channel 2 weeks ago. They stream on Mondays from 7:30, 8ish, 7:30.
Yep, 7:30.
Some of that. Mondays after work. Keep an eye out for them.
Just watch all night, and eventually we'll be on.
Eventually you'll see them. They are currently going through Candlekeep Mysteries. It is this lot minus me. Well, with a Tony, who unfortunately is not with us tonight. He's apparently out to lunch.
I'm with a Lauren.
Oh, and you have a Lauren. Space Buns Lauren. She's lovely and has far more hair than I do. So yeah, so check them out on a Monday. Currently, we are sponsored by Loke Battle Mats for this particular show, who do incredible artwork for maps. Battle maps, however you want to pronounce it. Big flip books, A3, A4, A5. You bang them out on your table. Boom, you've got tundra, mountains, arcane circles, forests, etc. They've done taverns and towns, which is the more urban maps, and they've done a wilderness one, which goes to the extremer versions of their previous stuff, where you get thick forest and caves and castle walls and stuff like this. Really good. It's really, really good. They also do the digital version of all that. So go on DM's Guild.
Hi, Dad.
I'll do it. They go on DM's Guild. You can check them out. Some of their maps are free. Some of them are pay what you want, and some of them are a set price. They also do quite a few science fiction-y cyberpunk ones. So if you're into that stuff, go grab them. And they work on things like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, any other virtual tabletop you prefer to use. They also throw in a few tokens and stuff with their maps, which is cool, like wagons and beds and stuff like this. We use Syrinscape for all our background music. We are now across the entire channel using the Syrinscape app that you download, and whoever's hosting the Syrinscape, basically they invite you to their game, and whatever they play, everyone else can hear coming through their computers, tablets, whatever it is they're using. Really, really cool if your Dungeon Master is trying to set ambience in the comfort of your living room, or if you're at a table, it's really good to blast out and have people feel immersed. So check out Syrinscape, they're really, really cool. We use Roll20 mainly for our virtual tabletop. If you throw 200 bits at this particular show, us players get a free reroll. We can only ever have 5 at one time. We can't carry them over, so we've got to use them this week. We can't use them on the Dungeon Master's rolls or Death Saving throws, and don't give him any, basically. That's it. Syrinscape.
Seems a little bit biased.
Sponsors, social media. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. So now I'll hand you over to Roberto, the GM of the Short Rest Tavern, and he can catch you all up.
Yes. So, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to episode 14. I think we're episode 14, something like that. Cool, we'll go with 14. Yeah, so welcome back to episode 14 of Secrets Worth Dying For, which is our kind of rewritten version of Wizards of the Coast's Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. We are well underway with mysteries, murders, plots thickening, and suspicions flying high. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a quick recap, and then we'll jump straight in. Plenty to get through tonight. So you guys had wrapped up a little investigation into a spree of killings that had happened across the Dales. You brought the perpetrator to a untimely demise, and pretty much had a little bit of a lull in your murderous antics. Nothing really to investigate. You found yourselves in East Haven, where you struck up a little tense relationship with the town speaker, Daneth, and Captain Imdra, a half-elven, stoic, strict captain of the guard. Seemingly rules with a little bit of an iron fist, very quick to act and zero tolerance. You set up a little bit of an exchange where you're going to check out some caves and explore a lakeside series of disappearances and disturbances in return for some information and free pass to information guards were gathering, to have free reign around the town, to conduct further investigations around a group you know as the Arcane Brotherhood, a group of mages who seemingly are interested in the area and may or may not have connections to your recent interactions with Duragar, who seems to be scurrying around on the cover of Hidden Magics, collecting a crystalline substance known as Shardlin. You managed to clear out a sea hag from the cave, found yourselves a large self-fulfilling cooking pot, and dragged it all the way back to Celine's house, where it currently sits in the front room while you guys reported back. Following up on a lead where there was a little bit of disturbance and some unusual activity around an abandoned boat frozen fast in the lake, you went and had a little look, did a little bit of investigating, a little bit of poking around, and failed to discover an invisible or a Duragar who had cast invisibility and was hiding, waiting for a patrol to come back. And a scuffle ensued where a few of you were rendered unconscious. Is a little bit touch and go, but ultimately you did manage to prove victorious as Vale charged off the boat and chased the last one down, and you killed them to the last man. You did find some details around locations, areas that had been looted, and seemingly large amounts of this crystalline substance were being stockpiled, and there was information around a fortress in the Southern Hills. While you guys were still piecing bits together and having a little think, you followed a mysterious reptilian creature to an old set of cabins by an old boatyard, where you had an encounter with a member of the Brotherhood, Verlaine, who welcomed you into their home with a few of her kobold companions and showed her side of the story from the Brotherhood's angle, and seemingly she had been betrayed by a number of her compatriots who had headed off in their own directions with some stolen property of hers, which she would claim holds the secrets to powers which can help the people of the Dale, and offered you an alliance should you retrieve this Professor Orb for her. Last seen with another Brotherhood member, Nas, who had chartered a ship and headed up the shore of the Dale a few days prior. Under the suggestion that she'd be keeping an eye on things and trying to help where she can, despite the people of East Haven posing a threat to people of her kind, she bids you farewell, and you headed back to Celine's house as the evening draws to a close. Verlaine's familiar snowy owl took to the skies and flew off into the evening. It is it's hit the pint of twilight. It's late evening. You guys are approaching back to Celine's house. The streets are cold. The darkness is starting to come in, and people are kind of wrapping up for the night, and you see a few lights start winking out in houses and windows as you approach the borders of East Haven proper. The evening is your own, players.
I think we should head back to mine for a little bit. Elkus looks like they're in bits and pieces.
And you're covered in claret.
Yeah, that too. Anybody a game?
We're not diverting, are we?
Yeah. We'll just go.
Maybe we can make use of that pot and see what it conjures up.
A breather would be most welcome.
Why not?
I'm not fond of sitting right now at any kind of tavern. Let's see what that pot has to offer. What do you say? A little experiment.
It's gonna be questionable, but yeah.
I'm for it.
Why not?
I thought you had agreed with me.
TPK.
All right.
Killed. It's a mimic.
Oh God. No. No more of those.
So we all
All right. She'll lead the way back to the group, the house, to her little abode.
Okay. It doesn't take you particularly long. Your house is on that side of the town, as it were. It takes you maybe 15 minutes from where you were to cross the rest of the snowy landscape, and you eventually arrive back at Celine's house. Seemingly, as you left it, the door opens, and the cauldron is still sitting proud in the front room.
Gonna eye the cauldron warily. Well, how do we use this? Do we just wish? Do we need to actually buy meat and throw something inside?
Well, Elkis put a ration in it, so if nothing, is the ration still there? I'm going to look into the pot.
It was empty when he threw it in. He threw it in and it disappeared, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got a reroll, by the way. Thank you very much, Ruffworx.
Maybe we need to cook like a meal in it.
Maybe it has some kind of secret magic that needs to be activated to actually use it. I don't feel like this is going to be easy, whatever it is.
Could be. If we cook a meal inside, maybe that meal just keeps regenerating.
Or maybe you have to have enough to fill the pot in the first place.
And where are we going to find that?
There's a few places around here, but I doubt they'll have any kind of offerings unless we go out to hunt. But I'm just...
Do you not need to use it magically?
True.
Rather than just throwing food in. Surely it's activated like your sword.
Now, sadly, Celine does not have any kind of intelligence when it comes to that stuff, nor does she have any kind of magic. So she's gonna just stand there and go, and just poke it and kind of look around, look underneath.
Turn my head towards Adri.
Shove it again.
Nudge, nudge.
You're like, make food.
Hey, magic user.
Turn to Adrian's bed like,
Oi, magic user.
boy.
Adri, are you
Oi.
aware of how this...
Shit,
I
Merlin.
don't consider myself a
activates?
magic user.
I can sit with it for a bit, but I don't know what else I'm gonna get out of it. I'll try.
Maybe how to activate it.
I'll see what I can figure out. I'm gonna roll for Arcana.
Mighty fine assumption.
Is it the correct assumption?
No, you got
It's
to
not the
roll
point.
a dexterity save.
Yeah, that'll be a con saving throw thing.
An Arcana check, please.
8. I know nothing more than what I already knew.
We don't need you, Rob. We're just going to DM ourselves.
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Roll
I
an
just
attack
realized I had a
roll on
+1 in
I'm
Arcana.
a DM now.
We'll let you know how it goes at the end of the night.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go get a pint. I'll come back in a couple of hours to the break. You can catch me up, right? Okay.
Nothing?
How long does that
Poke,
take?
poke.
What did you roll? Sorry, Audrey. I was too busy mocking you.
An 8.
An 8. Okay. You spend probably 15 minutes or so with it, trying to read some of the engravings, trying to tap into any magical connection you have with it, trying to determine how it functions, but doesn't seem anything obvious. There's no on button, there's no instructions, there's nothing that jumps out at you.
Adri turns to the group and goes, okay, so, still don't know. But, you know, we joked about throwing animals out of the bag of tricks, killing it and eating it.
I was never joking about that.
The weasel kind
Hold
of
on a
looks
thought.
quite scared at this point.
I have an idea.
The weasel is called lunch.
Lunch the weasel.
Well, now
Yeah.
it is.
Like
I have an idea if anybody is willing to listen. Wait here. I'm just going to go across the road for a second. So Celine wants to go really quick, just run over to the pub.
If you're going to the pub, if you don't come back.
I'll follow Celine. I'll go with Celine.
Back in 5 minutes. head off into the pub and walks right in and run up
Go
to the
for a
counter.
It's a fairly slow night. You can see one of the gentlemen who you spoke to, not the time, but the time before you were last in there. He's just kind of looking pretty, like, had chin on his hand up against the bar. There's maybe 2 or 3 other people in there. Seems to be a quiet night.
Hey there. Question.
Sorry, yep.
What's the heartiest meal you have available right now?
It's not much of them going, I'm afraid.
What meal do you have available right now?
Might be a bit of we've got some vegetable stew we made for lunch with some leftovers. Might be able to scrape a bowl. Kind of missed the dinner rush, I'm afraid. Not much left.
That's fine. Can we get as much of it as possible? Just one big bowl?
Yeah.
To go.
Or
I'll return the bowl to you.
I can see what I can do for you, I think, if you... at least let me see how much is left. He kind of makes a bit of a song and dance about getting off his chair and trudges off to the back. And a few minutes later, he comes back and there's kind of this wooden, almost like halfway between a cup and a bowl. He's got a handle on the side, much bigger than a normal tankard. And there's kind of this pretty off, like, grey, thin stew that seems to cling to the sides a little bit, and hands it over.
You have a little extra salt.
On the table over there.
I've got plenty of salt on me, Andrew. Yep.
Not salty much. It just scrapes them off the
Bring out
skin. Like, we're fine. We weren't just walking across the frozen ocean. It's okay. She'll pay him. How much?
It's just a silver for food.
She'll pass him the silver. Thanks. And motion to the general. Come on, hurry up.
Okay.
Head back to the place. And enthusiastically walk through the door and smile and give Adri and Vale just like the pot. You're like, here, hold on to this. Now, downstairs in Celine's area, I can't light a fire, but she does have a fireplace upstairs that's quite large enough to actually put like a decent pot in for herself when she would cook. I figure we can take the pot upstairs.
Do you want me to get the fire going?
It's like a 3 foot wide pot. Like, it's huge.
It's not a small space upstairs if it's all of us.
It's more the fact how big's your staircase. This thing is pretty much filling a sizable portion of your front room. You imagine trying to get upstairs would be a task unto itself.
Question is, how big are the windows?
Backyard then.
You're gonna have to throw you out of, Adri. I'll go with that.
So we're going to carry it on into the garden, yes?
Into the garden back, yeah. Nobody's back there. I'll be back in a second, and she's going to run upstairs and grab as much firewood as she can from her little kind of holder and everything that she has. And I have, I think, a tinder on me and like the little matchstick and everything anyway in my bag. And I will run downstairs while they're carrying this out and clear a space on the snow and plop the firewood down.
Do you want me to get the fire going?
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to get the pot on it first? And I'll just create the fire around it. Or do you
Let's
wanna
get
do
the wood going first.
Okay. Where do you want it?
She'll clear out an area that's not too windy, that's kind of like closed off, and she'll put the wood down, clear off the snow, and
Just
pretty much just like
stand
pile it
back.
up properly and everything.
Let's stand back a little bit. I cast bonfire and create the fire.
Ooh. Epic. You could have said something. I didn't need to go take my own wood. Just give him a death click.
It will burn the wood and keep it going.
This is good. So extra wood.
Which means
All
I
right.
don't have to concentrate on it anymore.
I just heard Gentle Steps say I cast, so I'm still in.
All right.
Look at Rob
Come help
all
me.
over Google. What is he doing?
All right, somebody grab the
And
pot
make
with me.
fire. Gentle Steps do fire. Big.
Okay.
Big fire.
So,
Myself
say-
and Gentle. Yeah,
I'd say
we'll grab-
between you, given a little bit of time, you're not really rushing or anything. It takes you a little while, but you grab the pot, you maneuver it a few weird angles past the door, and you get it out into the yard. And yeah, there's a sizable, not sizable, there's a fairly functional fire. And you drag the pot over. The wind's kind of kicking up against it. You kind of pull your various weather gear up around you and kind of shiver against the wind. The fire helps. And the pot is where you want it to be.
All right. The pot's on top. Celine will take the pot of food that she gave to the girls and... Well, I wonder if we need extra water. Here goes nothing. And she'll... Once like she feels the pot's like a little like warm enough and everything, she'll spill all that food inside.
Okay.
And make a little wish out loud going, make us more food, please. And step back.
Okay. So you pour the food in. You wait a few seconds, you kind of peer in. And after a while, the food, you it almost looks like the stew is draining out, as if there's a hole in the bottom of the pot, but nothing comes out the bottom. You don't see anything, and within the 30 seconds or so, the pot comes back to being empty.
Give it back.
Seriously, give it back.
It's the
I'm starving.
Exact opposite of what we wanted. Pot.
She won't poke the pot this time because she learned her lesson. She's only look inside and just shake her head and go.
It looks like it hasn't been touched.
Do you know when we were in the hag's place,
Yes.
anyone remember seeing any dead animals anywhere? Or literally just dead humans?
Just dead humans.
There was a variety of skeletons,
Creatures.
wasn't there?
But from before the hag was there or during her stay?
I mean, how would we know?
I don't know, Ranger. You tell me.
Can't tell how old a skeleton is from a passing glance.
You're a bit of a shit Ranger.
Wow.
Nailed
Just
it.
lost that. Yeah,
Thank you.
he just lost.
I did.
Their
I
romance
did
is dead.
completely.
Celine has another stupid idea.
What about if it's
Here we go.
human meat? Just saying.
Let's put Elkis in.
Or
It's definitely got to be activated. This can't just be a pot that anyone can put food in and it start multiplying. Like, it can't be that simple.
How about we all just go to sleep, forget about the pot, and get on with
Yeah,
trying
fuck
to
the pot.
save 10 towns?
while they're all talking, while they're not watching her, she takes one of her little knives from inside her thing, pricks her finger, and drops a few bits of blood into the pot.
Mmm, delicious.
Yummy.
A few seconds pass. A few more seconds. Same thing happens as the stew.
I look
You
over at
see-
Celine. How about we ignore the pot? Just go to sleep, Celine.
All
You
right,
see,
fine.
as the blood hits the bottom, you see it just kind of fade into nothing almost.
Does the
This pot
pot
does
react
have-
any kind of way? Go ahead. Yeah.
So this pot does have the capacity to save 10 towns in a way, so knowing how it works would be good. But, I mean, I don't know how we're going to find that out.
Sorry, what were the runes again? What language?
I think it was a language, it was more like
It was something.
decorative, wasn't it?
Yep.
There was it's elven in nature,
But decorative rather than language.
decorative rather than language. Yeah,
Oh,
you,
okay.
yeah, you
So I couldn't grasp a meaning from them.
not on an 8.
I speak 5 languages,
not-
and you
not
speak
on-
all languages. Yeah.
Not on the fact that I can read anything that is written.
It's not
There's no
language.
instructions printed on it. It's not a language. It's decorative, elven
Fucking
design.
annoying.
Like drawings. It's drawings, but you can tell it's elven because of the way that it looks.
Yes.
Oh, so right. That's degree. I'll give it one last go. One.
What are you going to do? And do not say I'm going to roll an Arcana check.
I can give you
I
a
would.
help with that because I'm proficient in it.
How are you going to help? You can't just say, I'm going to roll, I'm going to give proficiency. That's not how this works.
Arcana, I was meant to say.
I would like
a-
to sit and study the depictions on there, because I know that there are like drawings and inscriptions and stuff. I would love to be able to study to see if there is a potential meaning, story, or riddle.
Audrey, do you mind if I help you?
Feel free.
Sit with me for at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour.
At least 1 hour.
While you study the pictography, Dungeon Master, I'm going to attempt to attune myself to the magical item.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I didn't know they could do that.
Okay.
I didn't want to say sit there for an hour. Like,
I would say
I'm on a deadline, kids.
while you guys sit and kind of you look over the designs and things, make me just a straight intelligence roll, Audrey.
While they're
Right,
sitting
right.
there, Celine's gonna go up and just get them something to warm to drink.
I would
and,
like to use a reroll.
use it.
The reroll.
do it.
15. Better than a 5.
Okay.
You, Gentle Steps, you sit and there doesn't seem to be a connection. You don't feel any magic essence. You don't feel it. Just as you get into the point of frustration, Audrey, and you're kind of about to give up, you have been scanning over the same images for time and time again for the last hour. You see almost like a flickbook style as you skim across, but rather than left to right, you kind of, as you're just skimming back, it kind of makes sense going the other way. And you kind of see these images of satyrs, nymphs, and dryads, and other kind of fey creatures, seemingly pouring an urn of some sort of liquid in the first image. In the second image, they seem to be a long handled implement coming out of the pot, something like a ladle or something of that. And then in the third image, there seems to be bowls then being served and food being served from it. And now you see it, you kind of you catch it going the other way, and
Look at her face,
Going
like
the other way, and
that's why you didn't spot it before. You've been looking at it, like trying to read it normally, and then like just as you're about to give up, you just kind of spin past and catch it the other way, and it makes a little bit more sense, and you kind of see those three frames, those three images within the bigger design. First image of what appears to be like a large ceramic urn, or kind of and the two people are pouring something into the cauldron, and then there seems to be a long handled implement sticking out, and they're stirring it, and then the third, it seems to be providing food.
okay, so I'm not sure if I've got this right, but maybe we need to fill the pot to its entirety and stir it, or maybe we missed something at the Hag's Tavern. Like,
you want to try
vital
filling it with water?
components. Yeah, sure. Like,
She'll run up
no,
and bring a jug of water down.
I kind of point out the way that I've seen it to the rest of the group. I'm like, look, like, I don't know if you can see what I mean, but I feel like I can't quite get that like full grasp of it. Like,
Well, she just describes to the group. Celine comes back down with a jug of water, so she's just
I look at
gives it to her.
I look at the jug. I look at the pot that took 4 of us to carry.
And I'm just going to pour the water into the jug while looking back at him.
I'm going to assume I watched the water dissipate.
So the water is poured in, and it sloshes around, it sits, and you wait again 30, 40 seconds or so. The water stays.
Ooh.
I
more
start.
water.
can I start like just get like an arrow or something and start like moving it, like some
Sure.
as if I were cooking. I don't know. She was continuously stirring the pot, wasn't she, the hag?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not in a never leave it not stirred. She had a conversation with us and a fight, and we had to tip the stuff out of it.
So what would you like to do, Vale?
Stir that pot. Stir it good.
The pot.
Stir the pot. Stir it good.
Well, it stayed there, so.
I will pat
It's
Vale on the shoulder. Good
So
night.
Vale,
And Gentle Steps
What?
is going to go inside, and then go lay down where he laid down the other night, and go to sleep.
I'm going to get an arrow and I'm going to stir the pot with the end of an arrow
okay. How long would you like to stir the pot for?
until something happens.
Okay.
Indefinitely.
3
I'm
weeks
gonna
later, Vale's
Bro, just taking
died.
turns.
Um,
I'm gonna
Until
keep
I'm
adding
sure that nothing.
You
After-
were ready to take too long, Rob.
after a little while, Gentle Steps, you head off inside. After a minute or so has passed, you feel more resistance as you're stirring. And over the next 5-10 seconds, the water rapidly increases in volume, in thickness, and a similar kind of spicy aroma that you recognize from the cave as the pot appears to be full of food.
The Gentle Steps go inside.
Gentle Steps went
Yes.
inside.
I'm going to go back in and shout, "Food's up!"
I'm just gonna
I'm not
stare and just
from a
bewilderment.
dead person's cauldron, and then I'll continue up the stairs.
Celine would happily just saunter up, grab a couple of bowls, spoons, a ladle, and come back down.
I'm guessing we ladle everything into bowls.
Mhm.
Hand one to each of us, and thumbs up.
I'm gonna not eat. I'm gonna follow Gentle Steps into the house and say, "Why won't you eat from a dead person's cauldron?"
Because there was dead people cooked in it.
I mean, it's a magical cauldron that can create endless amounts of food. Like,
And you're using it instead of giving it to starving people.
we've only just worked out how it's used. Now that we know how it's used, we can use it properly, hand it over.
I will believe it when I
I think
see
we just
it.
wanted to keep hold of it to make sure it wasn't cursed. I'm still not sure it's not.
Definitely cursed. It's a necromantic cooking pot.
I don't think it's necromantic. I think Adri said the
It's been
inscriptions on it
tainted
were
with
Hey.
death. Adri's lying.
I mean, I'm not disputing that, but this pot
We're
could save
downstairs
life.
just
Shall we not,
wait.
Debbie?
I haven't eaten yet.
I'm already eating way. I'm just
waiting for
enjoying
you to
this.
eat.
Yeah, it goes down well. It's hot, it's filling. It's probably the most, or one of the more tasty things you've eaten in some time. It seems whatever meat and vegetables and spices are plentiful. It's not the usual kind of strung out, thinned down, packed out with cheap ingredients. It's probably one of the better meals you've had in months.
I'm raiding Celine's empty fridge. There's one can of Stella in there and a packet of crisps. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm pretty sure there is no fridge since we live in one.
Therefore, there is a
I'm
fridge.
gonna go
We're
back
outside.
outside. I'm gonna go back outside to Adri and Celine and say, right, now that we know how to work this thing, we are in the morning, before we do anything, we are telling the town speaker about it. And we're gonna tell him that he can use it to save people so that people in 10 towns stop dying from hunger. And we're not gonna keep this to ourselves any longer, because in a couple of, it's weeks now, not months, that people will start dying of hunger. And we can tell him that if this gets monetized, or if they start trying to make a profit from it instead of actually
I'll
saving
come for
lives,
his head.
well, we'll be the first people to come for him. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this isn't something that's staying with us anymore.
I agree.
Good.
If it starts getting used for the wrong reasons, we'll just murder him. Down with that.
I'll find out. I have my ways. Agreed.
Like, I don't
Thanks,
even
Phil.
ever get mad in the process. Like, I'm not down with arseholery.
As you guys kind of come to the end, the stew stays, the cauldron stays filled. It does decrease. It doesn't, it's about. Let's work out the math on this. Give me a second.
Celine,
Yes.
how many, do you have any, bowls or spare pots or anything that we could use to take the rest of this? As I'm assuming we're not lugging the pot back inside again. We could take some bowls of it over to the tavern before they close. They could reheat it tomorrow.
You guess that
Do.
this probably holds around 60 portions or so.
Okay, so yeah, we can take the rest of this over to the tavern before we go to bed. They can store it and reheat it for the morning, and then we can hand the pot over before we do anything else tomorrow.
Let's do so.
Cool.
Even better. Grab a few big pots from upstairs. I do have a little cauldron and everything. And then Celine's gonna run across again to the pub and go up to the lad behind the bar and tell him, not specifically about the cauldron and everything, but that we have a very, very large surplus of food, and to bring as many pots as he can.
Does Celine have any neighbors? Are there any people in close by houses?
There are, but I am a merc. I'm on the road constantly. They know who I am and just well enough just nod their heads and stay kind of away.
I'm gonna knock on the closest door that looks like a house. I'm gonna knock on. Rob.
Let's stay with the cauldron.
Okay, you knock on the door. Takes a little. It doesn't appear to be an answer at this particular house, unfortunately. As you
Next
look
one.
back, you can see. Okay.
Sorry.
First two, you don't get any joy out. By the third one, there is kind of this bleary-eyed, kind of run-down, kind of sickly-looking gentleman opens the door. What is it?
Hi, I'm Vale. I'm from Caer Konig. You won't recognize me, but we have a very large surplus of really good food. If you've got any pots that we can fill, we can give you it free of charge.
Piss off, it's late. No time for jokes at times like these. Clear off. The door goes.
It's not.
The door is slammed in your face.
Didn't even get to use my new skill.
In the meantime, am I coming back with the guys, or are they kind of apprehensive as well?
Yeah, he kind of looks you up and down the bar and is like...
And I'll just look at him and stand there and be like, well, what are you waiting for? When have I
came
lied to you?
Came in about 20 minutes ago buying food. Why you just got a surplus? What?
Well, you didn't ask the question why I was asking for that specific food, so trust me on this one and grab the pots and come with me. Do you want it or not?
What's the
Again,
catch?
when's the last time I've tried... Nothing's the catch. Just grab the pots.
Make a
Intimidation.
Make a
Persuasion.
That's the one. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of the word.
You know what? At this point, both set of dices need to go into dice jail. Persuasion?
Just please.
7.
Look, whatever this is about, whatever it is you're trying to pull,
I'm not trying to pull anything. When have I ever pulled anything on you?
Like, it's getting late. I need to clear up. I've got better things we're doing to listen to this. Whatever it is, whatever scheme you've got planned, try it on someone else. It's been a long day.
Scheme. How many times have I brought you stuff when you needed it from far away and not overcharged you? Don't test my patience or my virtue.
Make an intimidation check.
Not 20. Plus. Plus 1.
Adri's proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so he kind of looks down and kind of, you can see almost the cogs turning, and he's kind of thinking things through. And
I've been here for a while. No.
Fine, show me what it is you've found, or
Pots.
whatever it is you're
Bring
on about.
large pots, or even a cauldron if you have.
You have to give me a hand carrying it. I'm not
That's
lugging
fine.
that thing over.
She'll follow him wherever he needs, and she'll grab the whatever cauldron it is single-handedly without any issue.
Okay. And
No, yeah, bang on this door again. Sorry, whilst I need to do that.
you hear through the door, I said piss off.
Just open the door and smell it.
I'm not asking you again. Clear off.
You're lost.
Oh, we waltz it back to my place.
Yeah, so you guys, gentle steps, you're upstairs sleep, or whatever it is you're up to. Audrey, you see Celine come across with the patron you recognized from the pub a few nights ago, looking a mixture of confused, annoyed. There's a little bit of a mixture with everything, but yeah, he comes over.
Bring him out to the back.
What
And
is
then
this?
just point. Don't ask questions, just take the food. And she'll grab the big cauldron she lugged over and
Where did you find all this?
Don't ask questions, just take the food and leave.
I'm not just gonna. I don't know where it's come from. It could be anything.
Just take the
I'm gonna-
food and leave.
I'm gonna
So-
wander back over and just
Audrey,
wander back
make
over to
a
the back garden.
Audrey, make a persuasion check.
Nah,
An 8.
it's a bad day for me. Bad day.
would you take the food already? And she's gonna grab a bowl again, her bowl and everything, just spoons them inside and just start eating in front of him, like just sarcastically, just looking at him. And raise an eyebrow. Well, mouthful of food.
Where'd you get this?
I hunt quite a bit if you haven't noticed.
Okay, then where are the carcasses? This house has been
Far
empty
away
for the
and
last
tossed.
week. You haven't been back in time. You've been out around.
I have been back, you just haven't seen us because we arrived quite late.
Okay, then where are the carcasses? Where have you prepared all this meat?
That's none of your business where I bury my carcasses.
Where are you preparing it? Then food just doesn't appear like this without some sort
I
of trickery.
prepare it in this pot. Would you take the food and stop asking questions or not?
There's something not right.
Up to
Am I
you.
back yet?
Yeah, but
Go back, yeah.
yeah, let's say yeah. By this point, you've kind of sauntered around and look, whatever it is, wherever you found this, things like that. No, you're refusing to answer questions, secretive. If you've got food for people, why are you not being open with this? Why the secrecy?
Is his character human?
It is, yeah. Elderly human, probably in his 60s.
Okay. Celine's clearly not from the area, as she's quite darker and just very like, if anything akin and everything to Sun Elf and everything. Just don't ask how my people and their magics work, because your brain won't understand it. Either you trust me, as you have all these years, or we have nothing further to talk about. And she'll point out.
I guess we've got nothing further to talk about then. If you're bringing magics into these towns, enough of those troubles already. You've seen what the guards are like. I don't want that trouble on my doorstep. He turns and leaves.
Your loss.
Can I follow him and like sort of walk beside him as he leaves? And I'm just going to say, look, we came across that pot whilst we were doing a favor for the town guard and for the town speaker. We've only just found out how it works, but it has the ability to create what we assume to be endless amounts of food. We've just literally found that out in the last half an hour, and we're going to hand it over to the town speaker tomorrow to hopefully be used to feed as many people as is possible, because as you well know, people are dying at this point. We've just found out how it's used. The pot will stay full, we think. You know, we don't want to leave it out here. We can't eat all that food. So we were just trying to do a nice thing and give you the leftovers that you can hopefully hand out tomorrow in your establishment. If you don't want that, you don't have to take it, but you will be made aware, I'm sure.
Why
when
the
there's a
secrecy?
kerfuffle for it.
Why hiding it out the back here? Why?
Because we've only just found out. We found it. What day is it? Yesterday.
So why not just say that and be open? Why the secrecy?
Because it's part of a wider investigation that we're doing into everything weird that's happening in the whole of 10 towns. We're all a bit on edge. I'm sorry if we come across that way, but we are very tired.
Make a persuasion
We're just
check.
trying to do a nice thing. Yes. They wander a shit. Persuasion.
We're trying to avoid looters.
We don't like thieves. 24. 19 plus 5.
I'm sure there's hungry people at the tavern. If you've got spares, I'll take it off your hands. But this should go to the speaker. This should be accessible to all, not hidden away in some garden.
I completely agree. Like I say, we've only found out what it does in the last half an hour, and first thing in the morning, we're going to lug that bastard over to the town speaker and put it in front of him. But we'd rather not empty the food onto the floor to do so. So we wanted to give it to you. My only condition is that you do not sell this food. This food is being given to you, and I want it to be given to people in your establishment.
No, I can agree to that.
Cool. I'll help him bring his pots back over and start filling them, and I'll give Adri and Celine a look to say, shush. Can't hear you.
He's just going to smirk happily.
The cauldrons and bits and pieces that he's brought with him, he loads up what he can carry.
Help out with.
He gives you a quiet nod. If what you say is true, this could help. I'm sure the people here will be in your debt if this sees the people.
Here and far and wide. If you forget, this is my town as well, and I want to feed my town.
Just going to say, like, we'd appreciate it if you know, I know it's late and we're going to take this first thing in the morning, but if you do see anyone between now and hearing the news through word of mouth tomorrow that we found this, please just don't tell anyone until it's common knowledge. We don't want this to be stopped.
Yeah.
All right. I understand.
Cool. I'll help him take his pots back over to the pub and then come back.
We'll see
Can
this
I
go.
roll? I don't know this. That's why I'm asking if I can. Can I roll? What do I roll if I trust him or not?
You ask if you can tell if he's lying, or you can.
Okay, yeah. Is he lying?
And Rob will tell you.
Yeah. Make an insight check.
And what insight? Yeah.
Yes, please.
You could have. Yes, such a prick.
Oh. My insight.
You're asleep.
19.
Shut up, you.
19.
Okay, 19. Doesn't appear. He looks suspicious, a little bit confused, and a little bit kind of tired and worn out, but he doesn't appear to be misleading you. He doesn't appear to be trying to hide anything, or he seems pretty on the just
No, he won't tell anybody. Okay.
cautious more than anything else.
All right. Sounds good. She'll lug back the bigger of the pots and everything. Vale and her will take the heavier stuff. Adri, you staying and watching the pot?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to trust anyone to leave this pot out here on its own. So.
No, I was going to suggest we set up a watch or lug it back inside.
Well, the door. We can just stay inside a little door area as well, so you're not constantly outside. We'll set up a watch, so we'll all get enough, at least a 4-hour rest.
Don't think I'm going to care about being outside in the cold.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. But you still need to rest, so.
You guys go and do your thing. I'll stay up. I'll watch it. Someone come and take over from me.
Sounds good.
As long as I can meditate for my 4 hours, I'm all good.
Okay,
Thank
so Let's say for the night, we'll have 2 people splitting the watch. Gentle Steps, I assume you're long resting at this point. So out of the 3 of you, which 2 are going to be taking watch?
I need a long rest, but I can watch for an hour.
Well, like I say, you can get a long rest if, like I say, I'm going to say there's 2 shifts, so 2 of you will need to do shifts. You'll all get long rest from it. You're not giving up a long rest.
Okay, then yeah.
I just
Yeah,
need to
I'll do
know.
it because
I just need to know who's keeping an eye out and who needs to make rolls.
Just from a 5th edition rules perspective, obviously DM can change it. A long rest is considered 8 hours, but 2 of that 8 hours you can be on watch.
I only need 4.
That's because you're out.
So Vale needs 8, right?
So if I can have 2 people who are going to be on watch, which 2 of you would like to be on watch, please?
Well, Celine did offer first and everything, so Celine will take
Celine
it. And she knows Vale needs to sleep longer.
Celine and Audrey, you guys will take watch then. So you get yourselves, those who aren't taking first watch, you get yourselves to bed. You kind of, the knowledge that you've had dropped on you over the last few hours and kind of discovery of the potential or ideas running through your head of what this discovery about this cauldron, what it could mean. It kind of sits with you for a little while as sleep takes you. If I can get a perception check from Celine, taking the first watch, please.
Yeah.
As you kind of sit up in your front room and just kind of a little bit paranoid, hearing out for anything.
19.
Okay. A few hours pass. It's a little bit tense. Like you say, you're kind of left with your own thoughts for a little time, but eventually, it reaches a point where it's time to swap out for Audrey, and seemingly no one's visited your residence, no one's disturbed you.
I'll get up and wake Audrey.
Okay.
And I'll also give her. Well, I have a bunch of swords in the house. I'll give her something that's a little shorter for her to handle, and just tell her, keep this on you, hidden. Good. And I'll go to rest. Fluff up in blankets.
Audrey, can I have a perception check, please?
Judged by my rolls for tonight. No. Oh my god. 7.
I'm gonna start rolling dice for you.
What was your roll?
Because last week or the week before I was on it, I rolled a 3 plus 4, so 7.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of story. You wait over the course of the rest of the night. The morning starts rolling through. Seemingly no one visited the house. No one's disturbed the house. You're not disturbed on your watch. And the morning does arrive.
Sweet fix. I wonder if this thing makes porridge.
Okay.
I'll get up and make my way down to her real quick, but in the process, I'll just nudge Elkis. Like, up.
Ugh.
Fuck it, I'll go down.
It's so early. Fine.
You get up.
Puts her phone back on.
Tony's really here.
So, the morning takes you guys. You are all sorted. You're all fully recovered from the benefits of your long rest. The cauldron, you come downstairs to find Audrey kind of bleary-eyed, just kind of stretching, standing up as the cauldron is in place.
Any
Cool.
news?
Right.
Nothing?
The morning is yours. The cauldron now is empty, however. Also, Audrey, as you took watch, or partway through your watch, there is a small flash of arcane light as your Lunch the Weasel dissipates.
Disintegrate.
Oh,
that's
nice.
lunch.
Hello.
And you take 35. Just a mushroom
Well,
cloud.
As that happens, I'm gonna take out the bag of tricks again. Hand in, throw something out.
Roll a 1d8 for
does.
me.
As she does so, I'm going to shout, breakfast!
Look around like, what?
That is
And
a
then-
7.
Oh,
Okay. This time round, you pull your hand in. You pull out this small, matted, kind of black fur, and you throw it. And expecting a small weasel, in the front room with most of you is a large dire wolf.
Oh no, I'm outside.
Okay, they go.
I spent my watch outside. It's the reason why I've gone. Fuck it. Like,
So, where you now have this, there's a flash of arcane as before, and
Just
where the
falling out
weasel
there.
once was, there is now a jet black dire wolf. Eyes
Not breakfast. Not
piercing
breakfast.
in the morning, claws, fur that looks well kept. It looks sleek. It looks muscular, and it kind of almost stands up to your torso.
Celine looks at him and goes,
Thank you.
Celine looks at him and goes, and just like beams and happily and just comes down to him to come to her.
It's kind of takes a defensive stance when you approach Celine and kind of looks over to Ardry as almost like awaiting a command or waiting kind of what it should do in this situation.
Hmm.
Gonna kind of give it a nudge and be like, yeah, cool, go on.
Celine will keep staring him in the eyes
And
directly.
kind of make an animal handling check.
Me?
Please.
Yeah,
Please, if this
Celine.
goes wrong.
Celine murdered by a direwolf.
That'll be ironic. That'll be really ironic.
Good way to go.
Animal handling. How is it?
Don't worry,
I'm a
Sebastian.
0, but 18.
There's a bit of a standoff, but eventually the wolf kind of pads over to Ardry and just kind of
Celine.
almost like Celine, sorry. No, sits over, yeah, goes over to Ardry and sits on its kind of hindquarters and kind of stands by your side.
I'll smile and smirk, be like, good boy. And yep.
Literally, I'm just gonna pat it on top of the head.
They like that.
Smack it around the.
Well, I'm not particularly tall, so I'm guessing this dire wolf is.
Oh yeah, it's
probably
pretty,
my shoulders.
it's pretty big.
You can
Yeah,
ride it, Adri.
yeah, it's he a large boy.
No.
Yeah, it's a dire wolf. I can
You know
ride
what?
it.
They
I'm
are.
really glad.
You've seen Game of Thrones, right? It big.
I'm really glad that Tony isn't here today, because we know the first thing that would happen.
Elkis could ride a normal wolf. He doesn't
Yes.
need a dire wolf.
Also very true, but we don't have a normal wolf, do we,
You
gentlemen?
don't have a
We have a
normal.
dire wolf.
You don't have a normal.
You don't know
No,
like
they're gonna
that.
be extra.
I'm gonna be like, okay, just 2 seconds, just trust me, Adri, and just sort of gesture for her to pass me the bag. Like, I'm not gonna do anything stupid. Just, I want to see something. Just trust me.
Things said before something inherently stupid happens.
I just want to talk. That's every fighter. I just want to talk. Shotgun.
What is it that you want to do?
I want to see how many of these things we can have at one time. Can we all have a pet? Come on, just give me the bag.
How about I hold on to the bag, but you can be hand inside?
All right, I'll reach my hand inside the bag as Adri holds it out for me,
Okay.
and pull something out and throw it.
Okay.
My jar of duck.
Roll me a 1d8, please.
5.
You see 2 flashes of arcane light as the direwolf vanishes from sight, and in its place is a smaller, sleeker, more feline creature, also jet black, in the form of a panther that pads over and kind of stands by your legs.
Buddy, it's been ages.
Like, oh, my brethren's gone, but that's cute too.
I'm gonna pat the cat and say, I don't know if you're gonna be around for too long. But
Cousin Steve, it's been years. How's the family?
You knew my mum, right?
Might be your mum, for all you know.
Dad.
An ages.
I am a snow leopard.
Cool. So
have
you
spot.
Kitty.
you have a panther animal companion.
Ooh. Cool. Are we taking this pot, or are we carrying on and seeing what the bag makes?
Hey, I'm doing another thing of what the bag makes. I put my hand in.
Roll a d8. You realise this will keep going well until it doesn't go well, right?
Bye, Steve.
2.
I don't think we've had a 2 yet. I'm excited.
So the panther vanishes, and scurrying around your feet is a large, giant rat.
I made a mistake.
Which kind of squeaks and runs around and starts like scurrying around between your boots.
That's breakfast.
I kick it. I don't.
No.
The rat is not kicked. Okay, what is the plan?
I need to take this pot to the town hall.
You know what would have been really good to have?
A wolf
Dire
to pull
wolf.
it, or
Yeah.
a panther.
To just
Like
keep
a rat.
watch.
Just gonna look at the rat. Be a little bit disappointed.
Well, if they see a rat, they may think what we're bringing is poisoned.
I'm gonna go and stand next to the pot and hold on to one side of it and just say, "Look, I'm not the strongest, but we need to do this now."
I got it. I'll
Very
grab the
true.
other side.
I gesture to the rat to come at my shoulder.
Yeah, the rat kind of scurries up and buries itself in the furs.
Is it when you say a large rat? Is it just a big rat or is it a giant rat?
Is it a New York City rat or is it just a rat?
No, I'm asking if it's a D&D rat, not a New York
Okay.
City rat.
It is a
Because one of them
D&D
is gonna
rat,
be
but in terms of
big.
size classification, it is considered small. So
Okay.
it fits on your. It's
That-
not
that-
like
yeah,
that
that's
big. It's
alright.
like it's a rat, not a.
Like
rat.
it's on my shoulder.
Are they
It is
from,
my shoulder now.
From the Princess Bride, rats of unusual size.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I no longer have a pauldron. I just have a rat.
Yeah, rat armor.
It'll take some damage. Don't cover yourself in rats.
Good though.
Vale and I, we
I'd
start
be
like
the rat queen.
Pot.
we heave this pot up, and we start like trudging on.
Okay.
I
My
walk
minus
behind
one
with
in
a smile on
strength is
my
gonna
face.
go really well with this.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand and just like corner.
5
Take that 10
pounds.
pounds of weight that
Something.
Mage
Five. 5.
Fine.
Oh, those are
sorry.
only 5.
Part gets not even perceptionally lighter. It's like I'm helping.
I'll be on Vale's side just in case she looks like
It's
she's
her
about
strong
to,
hand.
Bit of lactic acid, you know what I mean?
30 second in, Dom's just completely ruined. Death save throw from her.
Jesus.
General Steps can just walk behind me, take the weight, but I'll look like I'm carrying it. So that's
That's not what'll happen at all. Yeah, you get the pot to the town speakers house or the town hall. You get a few looks. You see the innkeep that you donated food to night before, kind of watching this happen. You see a few townsfolk kind of giving this curious look out the window is why a electric bunch of strangers are dragging a giant cauldron through the city.
You'll see.
There's a few eyes that kind of linger before they go on their business. But you do find yourselves on the outskirts of the town hall, and you are granted admission. There's a few puzzled raised eyebrows from the guards as you drag this thing up the stone stairs, and there's a couple of like horrible metal on stone squeals that let out as you drag it across the cobblestones, and the guards are just like,
Guards and just be like,
"It's morning.
Can we not talk about it because it's actually making
Morning.
me gag.
Could you not? Okay, you're in at the hall. You have the cauldron there. What's your plan?
are we next to the lady behind the reception desk?
Yeah, it's
what's her
admin
face?
lady there.
The
Admin lady?
reception desk is currently empty. There is no one
Ooh.
behind the desk.
Where's Pamela?
Is there anyone around?
Doesn't appear to be. Oh, you don't see anyone. You're in kind of that foyer reception area where the attendant normally is, but there doesn't appear to be anyone in that room.
I'll look around and just go,
Um,
card?
Can I just walk up to the door of Speaker Daneth's room and bang on it?
Who is it?
Vale.
One moment. You hear kind of the scrape of wood against wood as it sounds like a chair's been pushed out of, and you hear footsteps like getting louder, and the door is opened, and you are met with somehow even more tired looking Speaker Daneth. Kind of
Morning.
this like 5 o'clock shadow and like unkept kind of scruff on his chin. His hair looks unwashed and unkept, and yeah, he's looking a little bedraggled.
I'm leaning against the cauldron and just go,
We have something that is hopefully going to make your day a lot better.
I hope so, because it's been a long night after your little discovery down at the ferry. Imdra filled me in, and it's been a long night sending letters and messages and getting the word out and reassigning guard patrols and God knows what else. Please tell me this isn't going to add even more downside to my day.
that
No,
depends
no.
on how you handle it. But otherwise,
very
it's
good.
quite positive.
All right, sure. What is it? What is it today?
Do you have a place where we can build... Go on. Yep.
Oh, go on, here you go.
Do you have a place where we can build a fire?
I don't know. The kitchen?
Outside, maybe?
Do you have a large
mean-
kitchen here? Yeah. Like
No.
Amy
Let's
said.
just explain. Let's explain first, and then.
Mm.
So, this pot, this pot will create a lot of food by using just water. We found it when we went to look for those fishermen that you asked us to look for. We have since found out what it does, and yeah, it creates food, really nice food out of water. And we'd like you to make use of it for the starving people.
Sorry, you lost me there.
It's a magic
Mate.
pot.
It makes
Put
food.
water in,
It
make
just-
food.
Makes forever food. You can feed everybody in 10 towns, not just West/East Haven.
What, from nothing, and it just...
From water. You put the
From
water in
water.
and you stir it. I don't know any of this because I was asleep, so I'm going to be quiet now.
No,
It's
I
a
we
wild
filled you in
guess.
this
My
morning.
people.
We filled you in this
Not in the
morning.
dark, why not?
It's fine.
Bottom 1, 2, pretty straightforward.
Celine's gonna motion to herself and Adri because we're both with Elvin. And she'll go, it's from our people. We don't know exactly which clan, but it's one of ours, and we trust it so far, and it has done us well in the last
Hold
20
up. You
half a
trust
day.
it. You trust it. I say quietly to Celine.
It's Elvin in nature, and I've had the food for when we first found it, and when we tested it the other night.
Last night. We haven't kept hold of this for like weeks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, the other night, last night, yeah.
It's been like 8 hours.
Last night.
12 hours, sorry.
Sorry, I think we say the other night in the States and everything. It just means last night. yeah.
This...
I know it sounds a little
was
nuts,
just-
but
What, this was just lying around?
Did we tell them about the hag? I can't remember.
Yes, we did.
yes, we did. Yeah.
Because we told them about the eating people.
Yes. The hag that we had to dispatch, she was using it to make food in. And we have since found out how it works.
Look, I'm looking at Elkis like, don't tell them what we're in it.
Shut the... I mean,
I'll just look at them because I heard them and I'm like, put it.
Fucking
this
elves.
could... This could change everything. This could turn the fortune round. Like, we're on the verge of people being starved at homes. You sure this works? It just goes on.
You have to continuously stir it. Not continuously, just keep the fire on and keep adding water.
We can show you, but we need it set up somewhere that you are happy for it to be. Like, you can see it's massive. It makes many portions of food, so we don't want to have to do it and then, get rid of the food. So if you show us somewhere where you want this set up, where it will be safe, we can show you.
bring it through here. We've got a back room, a stone floor, and it should be fine. And he leads you to one of the chambers towards the back of the town inn. You can see there's a bunch of, in one corner, it seems to be like a little makeshift armory. It's like there seems to be some scraps of guard armor, guard uniform, weapons, kind of spears and plate that's in various states of repair and kind of stacked up on one corner, and kind of a few makeshift like camp beds almost.
Do I see any windows around here? Any kind of ventilation?
There's some small windows like up
Okay.
high in the thing. It's not a sealed room as such, but it's not an open. It's kind of it's got an outward facing wall.
I'm going to say we're going to need some water, enough to fill the cauldron.
Should be some over by the beds. And between over the next sort of 5-10 minutes, he kind of directs you guys, and you break apart one of the crates and kind of make a very roughshod kind of. He starts pulling some of the wood over and points to one of you.
You wanted a fire?
Yes, please.
Gas bonfire.
Man, make fire.
Very good.
I'm gonna attach gentle steps and be like,
Kind of catch Daneth a little bit off guard. Like, what the Christ? Like, the hell? I mean,
Something he does. Don't worry.
Live in the tundra. You need to know how to make fire.
I mean, you have to teach me that sometime. It could come in useful.
It's just a country.
sell your soul and it gets very easy. Just saying.
Selena, give me a hand with this. He starts dragging over this kind of heavy metal, like water. It's like almost like a two-person, the equivalent of like a jerry can. Let's go with like a medieval jerry can. It's like steel on the sides. It's got two handles either side. Pretty weighty. He pulls up to the side, and between the two of you,
Flagon.
you start pouring it in.
Jump.
Like a metal urn, and you fill the cup. You fill the cauldron as before. The fire is lit underneath.
So then you need to stir it. I'm going to take another arrow and stir it
Wipe off the stew from the previous night.
the exact same amount of time I'm going to stir it for.
Yeah, and as
Until
before,
something starts happening.
after a couple of minutes, it thickens up and becomes a stew from last time. You can see Daneth visibly taken aback, like.
Oh, so that's how it
Ta-da!
This is
I'm shocked.
this isn't an illusion. This just continues doing this.
Eat it.
Kind of.
Bring a very big spoon if you can, because this needs to
Eat
keep
it.
going.
He kind of like pull. He dunks kind of like a wooden mug, like a
Like a medieval cup.
Shut up, you. A medieval. Shut the fuck.
What person?
Like a medieval bowl.
A medieval rock falls. You medieval die. Yeah, he tries it, and he looked like all pretenses of kind of post and status just vanish, and he like, hungrily wolfs down a cupful. It's like,
It's beautiful eyes.
it's like I don't know what to say. This
Thank you.
could save the town. I mean, the
Promise us one thing.
the town we can offer you coin or jewels for you. Like, we could buy this off you and have it property of the town.
It's yours. Just promise us one thing. This will feed this town and anybody else who comes forward, and make sure to guard it. And if we ever find out that anybody's using this for profit, we will come for them.
Of course.
I will come for them if need be.
Make a intimidation check.
I'm trying to be
I'm gonna
nice,
whisper.
though.
Whisper
You need to
gentle
work on
steps
your
and say-
nice and not threats of physical violence, because they're usually not the same
I'm
thing.
not so intelligent, but I'm...
I'm going to turn to gentle steps
Ooh,
and whisper
okay.
in giant. I'm going to say, are we turning down coin for this? You did say
16.
coin and jewels, didn't you?
16. Yeah, he
Celine's
kind of
in giant. Celine's turning down coin for this. Not
he
we.
kind of shrinks down a little
Okay.
bit. And you can see him kind of taking the weight of your words on. He's like, no, of course, I'll go.
We might need some assistance once in a while. If anything, if we run into any kind of issues, information or whatnot. Are you okay with that?
Yes, That's fine. I'll get the guards out front to be stationed here and keep it covered around the clock. On the next guard rotation, I'll begin distribution straight away. We can have the patrols do food runs in the morning and the evening, and once we know it covers the town itself within the walls, we'll see what we can do about getting this elsewhere.
And remember, you can always put this into pots and keep it out and frozen so people can reheat it. So you're not always getting a lineup.
He almost like slumps down onto like one of the crates and just kind of, it's just like almost a mixture of relief and just utter exhaustion just kind of hits him. He's like, ugh.
Just make sure you trust the guards and trust anybody that's coming to guard this, because this is about for the benefit of you all. And if you run into any kind of issue, send us a message.
I'll let Imja know immediately, and I'll have them in guard us to life. You've probably saved a lot of lives here today. It's not a solution to the grand scheme of things, but it's going to go a long way to keep people here and keep people fighting.
At least they're fed, because from what we've seen, it only seems like it can get worse before it's going to get better. At least keep the people in some way. Give them a fighting chance.
You have my thanks and the thanks of the town. I don't know how we could ever repay this.
I do.
Golden jewels.
And of course, we can.
We might need some armor repairs and some new weapons and stuff if we're going to fight what we're going to fight out there.
I mean,
Gold.
So
Jewels.
extra gold and extra jewels.
make.
Okay.
In fact,
unless you have the weapons, armor, trinkets, or anything that you would deem worthy of a reward instead of gold
And
coin.
the gold
Because
and the jewels.
the gold coin is irrelevant if we have nothing to buy.
give you we don't have supplies as such here. We don't really, we have basic plate and blades for the guards. There's nothing.
So no. So give us your gold.
We're down to our last.
I look at Adria. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Just like Eldritch blast in her hand.
We can offer this from the town's coffers. Follow me, and he walks you back into the main hallway, back through the reception, back into his office, and you hear he goes behind the desk. You hear a jingle of keys and a latch unlocking, and there's a thud as a fairly sizable pouch is dropped on the desk.
3 gold pieces.
And it's 500 gold pieces of gemstones.
500 gold pieces
of
and
gemstone.
Worth of gemstones.
Worth of gemstones.
Gemstones to the value of 500 gold pieces.
Selena just cross her arms and just turn around. She's not happy. What?
Cool.
Okay.
She had different ideas of how to, use
And Daneth
people around for that kind of stuff for updates.
Daneth leaves the room, and you hear him head towards the door, and you hear kind of muffled voices, and right away, Sawyer. And you hear shouts down the street, and you hear the chink of armor and the clatter of heavy footsteps running in, and before long you see a number of guards go past the door, seemingly taking post up in the room adjacent.
Do we want to have an adjacent break before we go running after clanging armor in the streets? Yeah.
Great.
I'm asking you, Rob.
Yeah.
Work with me, lad. Work with me.
I saw you know.
It's not that good.
I'm not asking to leave.
So you see the 4 towns guard head into the chamber where the parties, and there's a few murmurings amongst them and kind of surprise, and kind of you hear like chuntering amongst themselves. And yeah, Daneth just kind of, I know it's not a lot, but hopefully this will go some way of repaying for your troubles, and this knowledge, knowing that the town probably wouldn't be standing much longer if it wasn't for these actions.
Just look down and say, thank you either way. Thank you. And walk away.
Where's this leave you now?
I think we have something to check out in Bryn Shandar, if I remember properly. I think that was our next port of call.
Can we, of course we plan on sharing this to everyone, but can you give us the day before word spreads? Mass panic and mass migration to here would cause more problems than it solves. We want to get this food distributed correctly and sent out rather than just a stampede. Well, you have my word that
they can settle.
You have my word that this will be distributed. We don't want to incite mass panic.
That's fine. We won't say anything.
Maybe our luck's turning after all, and there's might be a hope for these lands after all.
Maybe.
I walked out the room, so I'm just waiting for the crew.
If there's anything else though we can do, please let me know.
Will do.
I'm sure we'll see you again as well.
Maybe.
Bye.
Okay. You head out. You find yourselves in the streets of East Haven once more as you see a few more guards heading down. It seems word has been passed amongst the guards, and there is not quite a full garrison of the town hall, but certainly a sizable force is kind of stationing. The guard doubled on the door. You see a few more guards enter the structure itself. And you can see a couple of other guards head off in directions, sort of seemingly spreading the word amongst the rest of the organised militia here.
As no one else has said it, as we leave, I'm going to pick up the bag of gemstones and put it in my bag.
I just assumed Vale had.
Yeah.
So, the weight of the decision's on you. The recent discovery and good deed seemingly handing the cauldron over to the town as you head into town. We are going to take a break.
Yay.
We'll be back in 15 minutes. We're going to go refill the old coffees, beers, wines, whatever it is.
Pepsi Max Cherry. Other Pepsis are available, but Cherry's the best one.
Are those a cinnamon Coke? Rather good.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's like Fireball and Coke without the hangover. We'll be back in 15 minutes to pick up where these guys get up to in East Haven and see where their journeys take them in the second half.
Bye. See you soon. Better.
Peace out.
Right, we're back. Shut it.
You know what you're on.
Right, welcome back to Heavyweight Gaming. We as geeks, we roll dice, we play D&D. This is Short Rest Tavern playing their Friday nights Icewind Dale round with the Frostmaiden. I'm here instead of Lauren. I couldn't have the buns on, so you'll have to deal with a baldy head. I'm a rogue. Go, Rob.
What?
Wow, what a stellar introduction.
Introduction.
I feel overwhelmed. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Don't make me teabag you.
You wish. Right.
I
moving
mean,
on.
AD.
So, you, to sum up the last an hour and a half of the first half of the session, you had a long rest and delivered a cauldron. You're in the street. Let's go. You've dragged the cauldron of plenty to Spicadown's house. Seemingly gifted it over to the town. A few of the party did accept payment, and there seems to be a flurry of action as a garrison, an increased guard presence and preparations start immediately in keeping this artifact under guard and making preparations to begin distributing food to the partially starving town of Easthaven. You are out on the streets. There is almost this like buzz of activity, even though it's not necessarily overt. Is this? You can see the guard, and you can see a few of the townsfolk are like kind of noticing like what's going on. Like the guards are springing into action. Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of hope in the air for the first time in a little while. So, adventuring party, what is the plan?
Onwards.
Onwards.
To Isengard, where the
To
hobbits
Isengard.
gone.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard?
Taking the goblin to Isengard.
I'll put a 10-hour loop on and I'll watch all of it.
Anyway.
I think we are heading towards Bryn Shaddar.
500 gold. What are we going to spend it on? Nothing. Hopefully,
I have 500 gold.
Check again. Sleight of hand, Rob.
We have 500 gold.
You actually,
you have a bag of furry animals.
Is that a genuine sleight of hand there?
No, I'll rob it while she's asleep. Give yourself advantage. You know what I mean?
Thank you for the extra roll.
Who gave us it?
Wait,
Enough
Oh,
of a
thank
ranger.
Right. If we go to Bryn Shaddar, maybe they will have something of value we can exchange for the gems. And by value, I mean something we can use in a battle against a wizard that can see the future.
Yeah.
I'm just not like.
How far,
Not an
with
agreement.
my knowledge of 10 towns, being a ranger, explorer, how far is Bryn Shaddar from here?
Sorry, say again. I was too busy congratulating Sawdust and Swearwords on his YouTube wizardry.
With my knowledge of my of the area as a ranger and a business owner of an exploring company, how far away is Bryn Shaddar from here?
It is. Let me consult the map of the world.
2 days.
Tell me what your plan is so I can plan everything.
I didn't expect. Oh, shut up.
Do we have
Foxfall.
anything else we can do here? While
It's about.
I said 2 days. 2 days?
I was going to
3
say just over. If you absolutely hoofed it, you reckon you could do it within a day if you set off early enough. You could just about get there for true nightfall. Or if you took it more leisurely, you'd have to stop out. It'd probably take you
2 days.
18 hours.
I'll turn to
Right,
Vale.
let's hoop it. Just run.
Vale.
Tabaxi!
All I can see
Onward,
is
oh.
Sorry,
is
Celine.
the entire
Vale, Celine wants
fellowship
you.
running across the hills.
Vale, Celine wants you.
Yes, I do.
Yes, Celine.
Oh. Give me a second. Damn it!
We are on it tonight, aren't we?
Damn it! It's just the spicy curry. It's all making me hot.
This is the content you don't pay for, guys. Premium.
But you should.
Celine, what do you want?
She's still kind of like just leans a little bit down, like still like, but like, shouldn't we change? Should we change the jewels to gold? Carry it easier. Where we go?
I mean, it's easier to carry
Jules.
500 jewels, like 500 gold's worth of jewels than it is 500 gold. And also, we can, like, people around here will trade, like you can buy stuff with gems, but if
Right.
necessary, we can change to gold. But at the moment, it would be more of a hindrance to carry around 500 gold pieces.
Well, Celine's low intelligence grabs this like, oh yeah, okay.
It seems right. So
Celine
Like,
makes
yeah.
smash.
Celine makes smash. Very good. Smash.
Also, we'd need to find someone quite particular to have a look at these gems. Maybe this Makridis guy could help. I don't know. We'll see when we get there.
Is Makridis not the wizard we need to kill?
Makridis is the person that will know about the map that we have from the Duragar.
Probably shouldn't kill him just
I
yet.
think.
yes.
Rob,
Who's
correct
the
me.
wizard with the professor, Rob?
If you didn't make notes, your character's forgotten.
That's why my character's asking.
I don't know that. Makridis in my head.
Don't worry,
pretty
AD, I was
sure.
with you on that one. I'm keeping up. Don't worry.
I'm pretty sure he was the map guy.
Makridis
No.
is the person that we need to talk to about this map. He was the person that sort of he was the cartographer that sort of scaped the area and did a lot of the early map building.
I believe you, Reed. Let's do that.
We can talk to him about hopefully this little area that no one knows about, the bit that's written on the map by the Juragar that no one knows exists or not. So we can talk about it. Yeah, that place. Sun-kissed orange death spire. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm basic, guys.
I've read the ballad many times.
Castle number 45.
C7.
That place.
Encounter 3. Location 1. You see a beige square room.
It's still morning. We can get to Bryn Shandar by nightfall if we go for it, or we can spend a night on the tundra.
Let's make a run for it.
I'd say we go for it, but we need to account for the fact that we might get stopped by some means on the way. Like we might encounter something. You know what it's like around here, so we should be prepared, perhaps, to spend the night if we have to.
You saying there are possible encounters on the way to Bryn Shandar?
Well, you'd hope.
Like, random nature.
Of a third
That
kind.
would it would be a good experience to engage in these encounters randomly.
Close encounters of the
Another
third
Yeti,
kind.
you say?
If we give us, we can offer another Yeti. It's fine. If we then yes, we should set off now. Unless anybody else has anything they wish to do in where are we? West Haven. Anyone else need to do anything here?
West Haven in the east.
I think
I'm okay.
we've spent long enough here.
No
Oh,
offense,
forgotten.
Liam, but it's a shithole.
But it's
Like
my shit.
all
Where
the
do you
other
come
towns of 10 towns that are
Duggan's Hole. You
epic.
come from Duggan's Hole.
No,
Even
Elkis.
worse, lonely towns.
Oh, lonely
So-
town.
They're competing for
much
worst
better.
place, to be honest. They're about.
Are we going out on foot, or do we want to acquire?
Direwolf!
You have a direwolf. It's right there.
No, we have a rat.
I have a rat.
Oh, you swapped it for a rat. Why wouldn't you? Ride the rat.
I mean, I can nip back in and see if Daneth knows anywhere we can acquire some steeds.
Or just a horse. They don't have to be a steed.
Horses in this, no?
Oh, I'm just a steed. I'm gonna nip back in and say, Daneth!
There are just guards pushing past. There's a
assassinated.
lot of this. You get the feeling he's in the middle of. There's about 4 people queuing up to see him. Guards are busy getting new assignments. Preparations are in place. It doesn't look like he's freely able to talk right now.
Yeah, I shout louder. No, okay.
Bitch, get out here!
I'll just go back out and say, yeah, he's not gonna be able to talk to us. We can either look around here for a while, or we can just go on foot. I don't mind either. I'm happy on foot.
Let's just go on foot.
Let's go on foot.
Cool. We're off.
Okay. Rock the wizard. The wonderful wizard of Brinshandar.
Okay, so you guys head to the. I'm trying to find the. I'm still looking for the bloody map I've managed to lose online somehow.
Brilliant.
There it is. I've got it. Found it. Okay. So, from East Haven to Bryn Shandar, it is pretty much a straight route. There is the large trade route known as the East Way, which covers it. It's kind of a giant crossroads, if you like, about halfway down, which splits into 4 directions. With East Haven to the east, Caer Dineval to the north, Bryn Shandar to the west, and Goodmead to the south. It's kind of in the center of the 3 lakes. It's a fairly well-traveled road historically. It's one of the safer roads within the Dale, or at least, again, in better times it was. You across the rest of East Haven, you can see the far west hand side. It's the first time you've been to the west hand side since you've arrived, and you can see this part is a little bit more heavily. The walls are in place here. The gatehouse is manned more heavily than the previous kind of open lakeside entrance that you approached previous night and the night before. And you see the path stretching out into the tundra, the occasional crop of dead shrubbery and just kind of these like skeletal, sparse trees and low-lying bushes, just devoid of life, no leaves or anything, just black against the snow. And you see a few footprints of animals and birds and things that have turned up the fresh fallen snow, and the path just stretches out like endlessly in front of you for miles.
We keep walking. Can I sort of keep my eyes out as we're walking, using my rangery-ness?
What do your tabaxi eyes see, Vale?
I'm drawing a blank at the description.
Are you proficient at his eyes?
As a natural explorer and a ranger. Yeah, that. I have things that mean that I can look.
So what is your guys' plan? Are you just heading
Heading to Bryn
straight?
Shundar.
Are you just heading straight across and just hauling ass? Yeah.
You're not getting
We
this,
are
are you?
Walking it straight
on
across
a
here.
mission to not spend
Keeping my eyes out.
3 hours.
Tabaxi guys.
To not spend 3 hours dressing ourselves.
But we will spend an hour and a half cooking stew.
Trying to figure out how to
For the
cook
third
magical
time.
stew.
Are you okay,
What
Celine?
what
asking us
terrain
where
would you
walking.
describe this as, Rob?
Snowy.
Say again, sorry, Vale.
Celine,
What terrain would you describe this as?
Tundra, like just open. Just like open. What the equivalent would be? Once upon a time, it would be open grassland, but it's just endless snow. Is snow a terrain?
It's not mountainous, no? Not,
It's not mountainous.
not
Not
favoured-
mountain, not
not
mountain.
favoured
No, no,
mountainous,
no. All right, I'll make this easy for you. There is a mountain range in the south and Kelvin's Cairn. If you're not there, it's not mountainous. Just save ourselves
Right.
for.
Well chosen favoured terrain. Then.
Look, I am.
He's a mountaineer.
mountain
To be
ranger.
fair, like there is a logic in there.
It's very useful in my backstory. Just no.
Hey, that's where it matters.
Celine's gonna reply back to General Steps and just go. She's pondering till her cogs were turning in her head, going, I can't believe this whole time it just took water.
Really?
Like, and she just keeps walking and goes,
You wasted like 2 drops of blood to, you know.
Oh no,
Heal
a
easy.
whole 2 drops of blood.
I mean,
It's almost
well,
as
it
if blood
disappeared.
magic's a shit.
the Fae could have that now. Like, we don't know what happens to the stuff that you put in this pot disappeared.
You're screwed.
she doesn't cop on to that realization and everything too quick, but a few minutes later, she realizes, like, oh, yeah, magic. Something has my blood. Huh. We'll
Ooh,
come. We'll
ooh,
cross
I
that
got
path
this.
when we reach it.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
I forgot a roleplay thing that I have.
Mm.
Carry on. Sorry, I'll be back.
now she's kind of like, Celine's not a person who panics and everything's quite cool, but now she's kind of like, something magical has my blood. Huh. And just
Celine, are you an elf?
Oh,
clearly,
Then
why?
you have free
Rob.
ancestry. You have nothing to fear.
Suppose if the
That is a
thought
point.
is
Don't be scared of your own people. Be
Rob?
scared of those not of your own
Yes.
people.
at the beginning of each, like after a long rest, I have a thing, Feywild gifts, and I roll a d6, and something happens to me, like roleplay wise, at the beginning of each long rest.
Okay.
Role play. What?
Very confused. now.
Something cool will
You're
happen to my
very
appearance.
exciting.
I just remembered this. Okay. I rolled a 2, so fresh seasonal flowers sprout from my hair at dawn.
And there you go.
All of my hair.
You look like a shrub.
I'd like to reword that, Celine. Don't fear not your own people. Just fear those that seem to do you harm.
Celine just kind of wonders.
I am
because-
a flower bed.
And what the fuck happened to you, Vale?
And turn to Vale and be like, "Oh, pretty."
The Feywild is a very weird place, and if they offer you power, take it.
Suppose. It is lovely. She'll go up to her and kind of like she'll go sniff the flower.
Yes, Adrian?
You know how you're a snow leopard, so you kind of blend into your environment.
Yes.
Yeah, snowdrop flowers.
This is it. This
Yeah,
is a great
they're all daisy.
environment. Oh, okay.
Not the best environment for flowers, I suppose. But they
What?
smell so nice.
Did they instantly freeze and die? Because that would be great.
No, they stay for the
magic
duration of
flowers.
the yeah. So you guys walk and walk and walk and walk. You get the feeling it's been the majority of the morning. You've kind of got this the brightest point of the day, as it were, where it's that kind of hazy grey rather than true sunlight, but it kind of signifies noon or thereabouts. For the sake of the group, can I have one of you make a perception check for me, please, amongst yourselves?
So that will be Vale.
Between yourselves, one of you make a...
Go for it, Vale.
Yeah.
You're proficient with your eyes.
18 with my proficient eyes. 18.
Okay. You travel on for the rest of the afternoon. A couple of hours later, there is the wind picks up, the snow starts coming down, and rather than it kind of in this heavy flake, it's almost like a mist. It's almost like it's so fine in the air, it's just annoying rather than disruptive. And you, just out the corner of your eye, about a few minutes off the path, you spot a number of almost like built up humps of snow, maybe just a couple of feet, and you see a couple of figures, small figures, maybe 2 to 3 feet in height, almost like childlike, kind of diving in and out of these mounds of snow. And then as you look and focus on there, it goes still, and you don't see anything.
Shoot it. I missed all of that.
I'm gonna sort of head off towards where I saw that happening.
Where are you going, Vale?
I thought I saw something, some small creatures bouncing around in the snow.
Roberts.
Hopefully, I'm hungry.
Not that small. Like Elkis kind of small.
I'll go with you.
I'm gonna
gonna
send my
wander in
rat
that
to follow
direction.
them. Because I forget I have a rat.
I'll go with Vale, wherever Vale's going. To the pits of hell.
You... Sorry, go ahead, Celine.
I just wanted to actually, for shits and giggles, just to learn to play more is roll a nature check, but then I realized I have a -1, but I'm still gonna take the risk because I am from these lands, like the plains.
Make a
not the town.
perception check, see if you see them
Perception? Okay.
initially. Yeah.
That didn't roll into the box, and of course it rolled really shitty. 14.
14. You don't spot the figures. You just kind of see the flutter of snow and kind of the bloom of snow that kind of cascades after something's moved over there, and you kind of get the tail end of it. You're not quite sure what caused it. You definitely see there was movement there, and you see Vale sort of panning off into the snow and heading towards them. Maybe the humps of snow, maybe 30 feet, 30, 40 foot ahead of you, Vale.
Just gonna keep moving towards until I, like, get close enough to see anything, really. So if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there. But just to investigate a bit.
I'll place myself between Elkis and Adri, just kind of guarding her.
When you get there, you hear almost like wind chimes, like metallic wind chimes, that it's too fast and it's too organized and too structured to be random. It's almost like someone's playing a wind chime, and you hear a few notes come from one of the snow piles, then almost answered by a series of notes that ring out from the other, almost as if there's a conversation happening. Like it's like a back and forth.
Yeah, can I gently, but one of the snow piles, gently just start sort of destroying it, but knocking the snow away.
Hitting it.
As you move your hand close to it, you see this very small, masked-looking face that's completely blank, apart from a circular rune in the center, just pop out of the snow. And kind of there's this shrill series of chime noises that echo towards you. And you see a number of these creatures, 3 of them, pop out of the snowbank, each about 6 inches tall, with these spindly limbs and almost like candy floss, but like white candy floss style hair around them, and just these blank, expressionless faces.
I look at them, and then I look at Ree. I look at Vale and Ree. In the same room. Vale, you said they were Elkis size. They're 6 inches.
I mean, maybe the snowdrifts were. I might have misheard.
You need to sort out your proficient eyes, I think.
The snow piles were about 2 foot, 3 foot high.
You see one of, like, 2 of them kind of recoil back when you talk amongst yourselves, and you can hear this kind of chiming between them. It's a very odd noise. You gather it's their way of communicating, but it's almost like a xylophone is probably the closest I can describe it. One of them kind of timidly kind of shuffles forward and kind of starts moving up towards you, gentle steps.
Oh no, Lilun.
You hear these series of chimes and things. It starts kind of...
I'll kneel and hold my hand out as if interacting with a wild animal.
It walks past you almost and walks aside of you and kind of does a lap around you and seems kind of fascinated and kind of
ritual cycle.
I was chanting to the 7 hells.
Yeah. That's a beautiful tune, is
The sky darkened. Somewhere in the distance, death metal kicks in. No, it seems mesmerised by the furs and the leathers around your greaves and your armours and your boots, and it's kind of almost like the head tilts in curiosity, and it kind of puzzles over your equipment.
I wouldn't try another one.
Being like a Feywild ranger, do I have any idea what these are?
Make a...
They're carrying 2 droplets of blood.
You see Celine's form dissolving.
One called Celine.
15.
She's over
Mr.
there,
Steps, I don't feel too good.
15.
I bring you peace and love.
I squish it. Liar!
Say again, sorry, Vale. What number?
15.
15. You've heard stories of odd sprite creatures, or like tricksters, or like creatures that kind of resemble what is in front of you. You're not quite sure what they are, what they're called, where they come from, what they do.
Okay. Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes.
Well played. Well played. You get a series of I've got a button here. This might work. Does that work?
We heard some ravens.
I heard a crow, yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah, there we go. Spock's parents are here.
Questionable.
You get this weird, ethereal, almost musical response. You're not sure if it's understood or not. It's seemingly directed towards you, but you don't know if it understood
If you understand, touch my hand, and I'll hold my hand up.
It recoils back and dashes back about 5-10 feet.
I'll leave it there.
Okay.
I'll offer it the other way, so it's back of the hand, like you would to a dog.
It walks out, kind of. The other two kind of poke their heads out of the snow once more, and this one more. It kind of looks around and kind of looks at your hand, and then you see it hold its hand out, and you see this soft, like pastel, bluish energy kind of glow around the rune on the center of its face, and then you see a series of like evergreen, holly, and ivy leaves just sprout locally, like 3 or 4 leaves just in a very small vine just kind of appear in the snow in front of you.
Can we see any of this? What we're standing in front
Yeah,
of this?
you can see all of this.
It appears in front of me.
Yeah, it's just this little small plant just kind of appears in the snow in front of you. It's like small, maybe 6-inch length of vine with a number of these rich green evergreen leaves.
I can't bonfire, no.
I'll just remind you, bonfire is not an offensive spell, regardless of how creative you get with it.
Do you want to bet?
Can be. You can lob it.
Cast bonfire, grab man, put in bonfire.
Bonfire, if it's in the 5-foot square it's
You can
casting,
throw
does
it.
1d8 damage. When I get to level 5, it's 2d8 damage. I know. Oh, yeah, mother kipper. This rogue knows how to do.
You can throw it as well, can't you?
You
can
cast
throw
it onto
bonfire.
No, that's you can't. It's on whatever. But yeah, I don't cast bonfire on the little people.
It's still. I
Yeah.
still want to roll a nature check because I live out here for many years.
You can make it with advantage, please, Slee.
Excellent.
But the Feywild Hunter.
They're
I'll
not.
start. I know. I'll start gathering snow and make a ring around the holly,
Well,
like a little snowball, a real tiny snowball around the ring,
Okay.
to make it more decorative.
What did you roll, Slee?
well,
12.
with
You-
advantage.
You've not seen them before, but you've heard stories around the campfire about small sprites that are said to bring both good and bad luck, depending. Some people claim they're bad luck, some people claim that they're good luck. They're often referred to as chewingas.
Wrigglies.
Chewingas. Chwinga.
Ubba bubba. That's what I'm going to call them.
Yeah. I have a question.
Archery.
This chiming sound
Yes.
that's going on, would you class it as a language?
That's a good question. No.
Damn it. Okay.
No. It explicitly isn't a language.
Okay. That's fine then.
So to preempt your question, know your magical what's-its means you cannot understand everything. No,
but that's the reason why I was inquiring. Just
no,
in case
it is explicitly not a language.
I then write my name in the snow in giant runes.
I thought he was gonna say something else.
You're a giant
Yellow snow, mate.
balls.
I write my name in yellow snow.
And they kind of watch transfixed, and you can see like their heads kind of following you as you do it, and they just kind of, when you finish, they kind of hop out of the snow drift and kind of they walk around it. Kind of one of them starts walking within the letters and kind of follows it.
Oh, that's adorable.
Cute. Right. Brinchindar?
Yes. Let's not disturb these little ones. I've heard interesting stories from my tribe.
No.
Let's leave them in peace.
Gentle steps. Are you happy to? I mean, I don't think, I don't know if they can understand us. We certainly can't understand them. They're very cute, but we have somewhere to be, so I think we can just leave them.
Fine. I'll say bye-bye in giant.
Before we go, Celine's gonna slowly walk up to, like, close to to gentle steps and everything, just stop. And if you remember at the beginning, we were describing the character. She has a bunch of little trinkets, little like bits and pieces, like a ring or a little coin or something like that sewn into her, like, on the inside of her cape. She's gonna grab one that's looks like a little tiny little flower, was once an earring probably, but it's like sparkly little stones. And she's gonna take that and just let it down in the snow and kind of step back slowly.
And you see one of them run forward, and it kind of pokes at it and kind of snaps back as it rolls over, and kind of
Explodes.
looks around it and starts kind of like nudging it with its foot for a while, and then eventually picks it up and kind of runs back, and you see it jump and just it doesn't go necessarily into the snow. There's no, it just vanishes within the snow.
Might be good luck, I said to the group, and I walk back to Adrian to Telkus.
Probably not. So,
Moments ago, we had a conversation about giving your stuff over to Faye, and the first thing we see Faye like, you're like, yeah, here's a trinket personal to me. Here's my dress.
yo, with Faye as well.
Here's
It's
my
fine.
name. I will
We
eat
just
that
got
from you.
raided.
Thank you very much.
It might bring us good luck if the tales were true. If not, well, it's not like it can get any worse, right?
You ever died?
Don't say that. Why would you say that?
Just
He just
curious.
shrugs like,
I'm just gonna sigh and walk back to the path and shaking my head.
"But did you die?" I'll look at him and be like, "But like I was unconscious before, almost, but okay."
You see after a few seconds, like after a few more moments, the other two kind of looking around and kind of seeming kind of almost lose interest and start looking around the circle that Gentle Steps made and continue walking in the letters that he made as they start kind of filling with snow and start becoming a little bit more less discernible.
We'll carry on.
Hmm?
Okay.
But yeah, saying that, you did just give them your name, Gentle
Raid.
Steps. So
Hello, Raid.
I don't fear the fear.
Guys, we have a raid. Hi, Raid.
Hello.
Pigeon ahoy.
Oh, Pidgey! Pidgey!
Yeah.
Chewbacca himself.
He is raided. Pigeon ahoy.
How many's he brought?
Damn,
Otherwise it's not a
Nightbot's
real
He has
raid.
brought
Shady.
9 people.
9 people. I want double figures,
No.
Pidge. Oh, it's not a real
Right.
raid.
We need to have a fight soon, otherwise they're gonna leave.
So
Right,
you
We're
guys,
all-
not these little things, not the little fey things.
as you guys move away and continue on the road, Celine, you feel kind of almost a weight suddenly materialize in your robes, like as if something's been placed there.
I'll look inside and what do I see?
You see what appears to be a larger than humanoid, appears to be a finger of a bluish color with a large black nail off of it in a perfectly square piece of ice.
Is this just in the road?
Mhm.
In a container?
Say again, sorry.
It's in Celine's pocket.
It's like
no,
in
no,
my
it's
robe, like where the flower was
appeared
hanging.
as she's
All
walking
right,
away.
I
Just,
see,
kind
I
of,
see.
just a crate in the road.
That's what I was like. What the?
What's in the box?
What's in the ice box?
Definitely a mimic.
So wait, in this piece of ice that's suddenly hanging inside my robe, I'm guessing where the flower was is this blue finger with a nail.
Finger's
She's gonna
probably
s-
about twice the length of your own, about twice as wide. The black nail looks quite gnarled and dirty. The
Like this, I'm guessing. Like then, yeah.
it's
that
fairly
length
yeah,
and
it's
that
fairly
length, yeah.
chunky.
She's gonna just stop and. She's almost like apprehensive to touch it and everything, but I think she has gloves on. That's right.
It's gravy time.
Pluck it out of place where the flower was.
You take
Just-
29 decent.
Just like
Cheers,
that.
Pidge. Carry on.
No, you it's the ice doesn't. You don't get that sense of cold. It's
gravy
almost-
time.
The ice doesn't appear to melt. It doesn't seem to be. It feels like ice, and it has that kind of slippery texture to it. But you don't feel the cold through your gloves, and it feels quite bizarre that you don't have that sensation. And as you place your hand around the item, you kind of feel this very faint vibration around it, and this grayish kind of cloudiness comes over it, and you feel like almost a hum, like a vibration to your fingertips.
Adri, It
don't
just
think you should carry that. Don't know why.
It's just a gift.
A finger?
It has a weird energy.
Make a nature check, Audrey and Celine.
Okay.
Just don't do it, man. Don't do it.
11.
14.
11.
Okay. You don't recognize it, Celine. Audrey, you're pretty convinced it's a troll finger.
It's gravy time.
Whoa!
So, yeah, it's a troll finger. And if it was given to you by those
It's gravy
the
time.
things, now even more terrified than I was.
Yeah,
Can I just
1
stop?
second.
2 seconds.
Oh.
2 seconds. Thank you very much, Pharaoh.
It's gravy
025,
time.
for the how many gifted?
Arrow. 20.
20 gifted subs.
Subs.
You absolute lunatic.
Arrow. You shitbag, we love you.
It's gravy
Wow.
Oh,
time.
just so you know, he's mine.
Jesus
He's one of mine.
Ah.
You're welcome.
You can
Jesus.
come again.
Pharaoh.
Wow.
I
I
can't
don't
believe you
know
just try to
what to
take
say.
credit for it, Anna. I literally.
It's
you'd be like,
gravy
yeah, he's one of mine.
time.
It's one of mine.
She's like, yes.
It's all me.
My friend.
I believed in me for my streaming. Not that I do that anymore, but I will.
Sorry, I do apologise. Thank you very much, Pharaoh.
No, yeah,
Very
thank you
good.
very
No,
much.
that was an
Gravy time.
important, like,
Shit.
There
let's
is
stop.
you've only paid for the gravy time, let's be honest.
Oh, now we're gonna have no. Anna. Anyway, troll
It's
finger.
gravy time.
Yes.
So, Celine's got a
Holding this
troll finger. In her hand.
troll finger.
An empty wine bottle.
It's gravy
Nothing
time.
here. I have my phone. So she's holding it and just goes. It just has
Pharaoh, we
weird vibe.
respectfully decline.
She'll take a little pouch that she has
It's
on
gravy
her
time.
and just slip the
No,
finger.
no. You're gonna say thank you very much for the gift, but I cannot.
It's gravy time.
I cannot take this from you. It's too much. But thank you, and then just place it.
Shayna Mac
back in
81 for the
snow.
sub. Appreciated.
It's gravy time.
Just thank them for the gift. Say that you can't take it. Respectfully decline, and please leave it in the snow. Don't take the troll finger with us.
It's
Please.
gravy time.
What do you feel?
Just bad vibe. Anything to do with dead bodies and gifting is usually not a good thing, Celine.
Thank
What
you,
if it comes
Harlan.
handy.
Rob, it's all the gifted, mate.
It's gravy
They're
those are
gonna
the
time.
gifted
filter.
subs,
They're gonna
yeah.
filter
Ah,
through
fair
it.
enough.
Yeah.
Are you sure? What if it comes in handy later?
It was. It's a finger.
It's a finger.
Comes
It's
in
gravy
handy.
time.
That was awful.
We've seen
But,
weird things, weirder stuff.
Celine,
From the hip shoot.
Need 4 more for it to come in handy.
It's gravy time.
For what? Well,
Top work.
was.
looking
Top
at the
work.
size of the finger, she's just gonna be like, you know what? I'll take the
It's
consequence.
gravy
And if
time.
the tails are right, this might be a good omen from the little ones.
I am just gonna. Vale is continuously shaking her head and now walking down the path.
Celine,
Audrey just looks
gravy
at,
time.
like looks at the rest of the party like
when we get
Anyone think you chronically don't trust
Well,
your DM? It's a little
when
bit
we,
hurtful. It's very hurtful, if I'm being honest.
when we stop at a fire again and talk,
It's
I will
gravy
tell you
time.
some of the stories of my tribe, and maybe you can, compare them to the ones you heard about giving things to wild creatures who return you with fingering goodness. I will reword that immediately.
Gravy time.
They give you a gift that is a troll finger in ice.
A gift of fingering does not sound any better.
Look, when I were at high school, alright?
Ruined it.
Depends on who you ask.
It is a very wide finger. And
My
long.
tribe sometimes
called girthy.
wears ears or other trinkets of who they've taken.
Cool. Do you know what? We'll make it into a
You
necklace
didn't-
for you. And
didn't. I can't even say that sentence. You did
We'll
not.
wear it
You did not
proudly.
take the object given to you by the small creatures.
Good save. Good
Oh,
save.
God.
I
try.
I am assuming
It
you wear
was
the ears of
imposed
those
upon
that
you.
defeated. You wear the ears and such of enemies you have vanquished. Correct?
Depends. Sometimes it's for certain amounts of luck. Sometimes it's for other
But
spells.
it's rabbit's feet, 1 foot. You don't need to wear multiple ears for luck.
Rabbit's
Where are you getting
bears.
these ears from, Celine?
Oh, just...
How far am I down the path if I've just been walking?
You're in Brinchon, you're on with the main quest.
Yeah, no, we're going.
We're walking and talking.
Walking and talking, yeah.
Audrey's right.
Okay, at the first sign
could
of
be
something
dangerous.
negative, I'll toss it.
They've given you the remains of a troll.
Mm-hmm.
What? Do you not see that as a bad sign?
I see it as a trophy.
But it's not your trophy. You didn't take it. It's like
No, I
walking
didn't.
into a.
Well, clearly they want me to have it.
Okay. I'll
Unusually.
catch up with Vale and put myself 31 feet away from Celine.
I'm going to cast fire resistance on me for a hunch.
So, Rob, you
Yes.
said that this thing was giving off some kind of like energy, like remind me
Yes.
what was like some kind of grey energy.
Yes, it's kind of, as you place your hand on it, you get like this tingle, almost static feel, and the clear eyes kind of clouds over. And then when you let it move your hand away, it goes back to clear.
The clear ice clouds over.
Yeah, when you touch it, it clouds
yeah.
over and starts kind of tingling and like a little bit of static kind of feeling into your fingers. And when you move your hand away, it returns to normal.
Okay, so if I'm holding on to, I'm just walking now behind the group and everything. I know Elkis is somewhere protecting them in the middle. If I'm holding on to it and it starts to cloud over, I wanna. What do I roll for perception? I guess to see if there's any kind of suddenly changes around me or anything following.
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, good stuff. I'm actually proficient in that one. Oh, 10.
You aren't particularly magic proficient. You're not well versed in artifacts. What you are versed with are charms and trinkets. You are aware that both good and bad charms and trinkets do exist that are beyond just superstition, and you've seen instances where things have happened or people have been able to perform feats or survive accidents or do things that would seem past normal ability, and they say it's because they were carrying a good luck charm or they were carrying a trinket that's passed down in their family or something they found in the wilderness. You suggest it may you get the feeling this might be a gifted charm. You're not sure what it does or if it's good or bad, but you believe it has a effect. If a certain thing was to happen,
It'll have an effect.
it will have an effect. Potential further study, or you may be able to determine more, but for now that's kind of what you piece together.
How would I do in D&D? How would I do the studying and everything? I haven't read about it.
Normally, if you've got like a short rest or a long rest, I would say like
Okay.
just you want to
You
sit
just,
down, spend some more time with it, and say, I
Yeah.
want to, when you're not on the road hoofing it across the field,
Yeah, clearly.
you've got a bit of downtime. At the moment, it's kind of like you've had a few like, I'll have a quick look at it. Do I know what this is? Sort of. Whereas if you can spend all night properly looking at it and racking your brain over it, you can
Okay.
maybe discern a little bit more.
The answer to most of those questions is go, DM, I want to do this. And then the DM will give you the scenario to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
wanna-
to study this during my
Walking
short
to
rest.
There you go.
Punch Elkis in the head.
100 foot
Where
down the
now?
road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I'm
Vale and
starting to
gentle
walk a little
steps are
faster.
I also left.
Yeah, but you went the wrong way, Adri. You turned left.
Yeah, fair.
Selena's just wondering, like, how come Elkis is and everything so lost to thought that they haven't like
Spoken in
cast
15 hours.
what is it called? Detect
Divine sense.
good, detect good
Yeah.
or good evil.
Let's say Elkis would have cast Divine Sense, Detect Good and
At
Evil
least
twice.
8 times.
I was going to
That's-
say that Elkis has concussed and doesn't know what he's doing, which is great.
It doesn't appear to be. It doesn't ring up on any of his spider senses, his goblin senses. It doesn't appear to be, is it fey, undead, or fiendish? I think you can detect. It doesn't appear to be any of those things.
Celestial, fiend, undead.
It doesn't give him any feedback. It doesn't give them any feedback, and there's nothing. I'm not sure what it is.
When we get to Bryn Shandarslin, you're going to get a wash.
Yes, why?
You're still covered in the claret from yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's great and all, but, you know, wild animals with a good sense of smell will probably encounter us along the road and give us a good experience.
I'll probably keep away from us from the way that it smells
random
right now.
experience.
Totally random experience.
Yeah, this is a trick I learned.
On a scale of 1 to 8, how likely are you to...
Rob?
Yes.
Sorry, as we're walking, can I cast or use a spell slot to cast Primeval Awareness, please? Just as we're walking.
What does that do?
Dragons.
As an action, you can spend 1 ranger spell slot to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of you.
Yes.
This feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number.
There are.
Many.
There's 2 behind you.
There are... Within a mile, probably total half a dozen in various directions scattered around. There's a small cluster of elementals about 10 minutes previously up the road behind you, and there's a few other blips on the edge of what you can detect.
But not right behind her.
I can detect specifically what they are, I just can't detect numbers. So I've got elementals.
Remind me what the other bits were? There's elementals.
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead.
You get... It's mainly small elementals. You get a number of elemental creatures that kind of scattering around, and they move quite rapidly. So 1 minute you've kind of got a feeling they're there, and they almost... The signal disappears and reappears.
Like a blip in an hour cleanse.
Kind of. You do get a very, very fleeting blip of undead on the very, very edge of your detect. It's only for a split second. It's almost like it just passed within your detection and then vanishes again out of your capability. That's to the west of you.
Celine, do you mind if I show you a trick? Oh, carry on, Vale.
Sorry, I was going to say to Gentle Steps in Giant, possibly undead around, but within a mile, so could be a while away.
Noted. In Giant. You mind if I show you a trick, Celine?
What?
I'll scoop up a big clump of snow in my hands, and I'll get real close to Celine. May I?
Yeah.
And I'll start essentially washing her hair with the snow. It won't help a great lot, but it'll clean at least a top bit of you. Trick of the road.
It's an improvement. It's, you know, it's not going to be opening up a Gentle Step salon anytime soon, but it's an improvement. Some of the
sighs out happily and
worst
says,
of it
thank you.
comes through.
As you walk, just run it through your hands, your hair, your face. It'll help clean. I wouldn't strip and clean, it's a bit cold. Some might say nippy. Onwards.
Bit nesh.
Bit nesh.
Bit nesh. That's just alienated half the audience, isn't it?
It is.
So
I'm confused. What is Nesh?
There we go. How do you...
Confuse thy own player.
It's fluent northern. You...
It's a tad cold.
Nesh is when you go out in the city centre without your big coat.
Oh, okay.
And if you want a big coat, you ain't northern.
You carry on the road for the remainder of the day. The kind of early afternoon twilight hits, and the grey afternoon fades out to the more kind of rich midnight blues as the open sky darkens bit by bit, mile by mile. And you do see the familiar welcome sight of the outskirts of Bryn Shandar cresting in the horizon. Probably about an hour away at most. You see the hillside that the town is built upon. You see the walls surrounding it, and you see the little pinpricks of lantern light glinting in the distance.
Bryn Shandar.
Nearly there.
It's been probably about a week since you were last here, I believe. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
And the last hour of the journey passes without incident.
It's gravy
Can I
time.
have whoever's leading the charge on this one make a final perception check as you enter the east gate, please?
Fail.
23.
Achieve. You kind of take a final glance over your shoulder, just almost out of just instinct as you enter in this kind of urban settlement, and you spot very faintly in the distance as the night kind of starts drawing in and the lantern light kind of pulls the attention, your eyes adjust to the brighter scenario and the wilderness gets darker around. You spot in the very, very distance a single bluish light, just stationary about 4 foot off the floor, just stays there for a few seconds and then slowly fades out of view.
Did anyone else see that?
Aye. Should we be worried?
Probably about you yes. It's hard to judge how far away it was. It seems to be quite far. But you probably about the size of I'd say like a basketball size.
Is it something that I would recognize?
Based on what?
Or the blue lights you've seen?
Yeah, based on
Light
the
blue tongue.
questionable,
Give
questionable
me-
visions.
Give me an intelligence check.
Blue is becoming a very triggering colour in this campaign.
Yes.
It's almost like I said
13.
12 episodes, like 30 hours of building you lot to be paranoid about things.
The
So what was the
bad
roll
guys
like?
dressed in yellow.
13.
13. It kind of reminds you a little bit of the kind of the grey energy that you came across from Suffolk, but it doesn't. You don't get that same draw to it. You don't have that same kind of attraction and urge to approach it. It's kind of almost the opposite. It's kind of this sends a little bit of a chill up your spine.
Which is impressive. Okay.
Yeah, for you that is really not like you don't feel cold. It's just that kind of like shudder. Like you don't care. Like there's no.
I got a chill
baths
thinking
going
about
on.
that.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. You save a fortune on your gas bill now. It's great. Yeah, it just sends that little bit of unease. Just kind of the hair pricks up on the back of your neck a little bit, and there's just something a little bit, just gives you a little bit of a
EBGBs.
yeah, and then
Okay.
it slowly
I think
fades out.
we should go and find somewhere to camp down. And food and sleep. Everyone?
Do we remember anything about inns and taverns here, Rob? As in, are there any?
Last time you were here, there wasn't a lot available. There was the rough and ready bar with the stables out back that the three dwarves were kind of camping in.
Yes.
You are aware of a tavern to the very north of town called the North Look. You've not been there yet, but you are aware that it exists. It's kind of once upon a time was like a central, very, very touristy heavy bar, rather than, the locals kind of gave it a wide berth, a little bit pricey and, a bit of a tourist trap to the North Gate. On occasion, the temple offers some kind of rough indoor sleeping kind of for people who don't have anywhere else, almost like a shelter at night. And in seasons of better times, they almost acted like a soup kitchen, and kind of helped those who didn't have ways of feeding themselves a place to lay their head for the evening and a warm meal in the evenings.
Shall we try where we stayed before? They might remember us and let us sleep out back.
I don't
Yeah.
believe you actually stayed there. I believe you stayed out in the wilderness. You headed out at night because
okay.
and you camped out in the night. I don't think you've actually spent a night within Brinshaw as a town.
That is true
Okay.
because didn't we have some dodgy dealings? This is where we got the bear cart.
Yes.
No, you got the bear cart in the wilderness. You brought the bear cart back and scared a shit ton of the locals. You paraded it through the town centre.
It's fine.
Our bear cart
nice.
is still in Targos, yes.
Just doing my thing.
The tavern let the dwarves stay there, so maybe they'll let us stay. out back.
It wasn't as much a tavern as a bit of someone's front room converted into a tap room, and it was just they was kind of in the stables out back. Like General Steps went and saw them. It wasn't a. It was like basically a
Let's-
glorified shed they were camping in.
Let's go sleep in a shed.
Whatever it is, let's go and sleep there, if they'll let us.
Worst case scenario, we can always just
Makes
Go
sense.
to the temple.
make a little
Get a wash.
camp within the town. Yes, get a wash.
Not
I promise
smell.
you, I will get a wash before we go to sleep.
Cool. Let's go to the tavern because I don't know about you guys,
Okay.
but I'm.
Which tavern would you like to head towards? The one
The
that
one that we know.
The Sailing
Damn it.
Flamingo.
I'll be honest, I do not remember what that place was called.
I'm
I
pretty
can
sure we
check the
made a
notes.
joke out of it being like the.
You make a
wet-
joke of
wet
every
fish.
name I've made for the last 4
No,
months.
the wet fish is in East Haven.
It's the wet trout,
Ah,
and yeah, that's in East Haven.
The Slippery Cockerel. The Troll
Why don't we
Finger.
go to the
Let's go
posh
stay at
one?
the Troll
Let's
Finger.
go to
Finger.
Let's go to the
Um,
posh one that Rob can remember the name of.
To be fair, the tavern you went to before wasn't a published tavern. It was literally almost like a bit of a speakeasy dive bar that someone was just selling stuff out of his front room.
Space.
It wasn't a. It wasn't.
let's
It's
go
not.
to the
It's
posh
not a
one then.
formal tavern. It was a place
Yeah.
that you went
Let's go
We're
investigate.
gonna go to the posh one.
Go
Let's
do
go and
one.
treat ourselves.
It doesn't have a name.
We've got 500 gold.
Going to the
to
posh
treat
one.
ourselves.
We could buy stuff for our
Celine.
adventure, like booze.
Celine's gonna turn to I'm gonna say heavyweight Jesus. Gentle Steps and
It's a heavy.
heavy.
I mean, it
That
fits.
guy.
The big
I
guy.
mean, like the big dad.
Yes, Ange.
Yes. She's gonna ask him, looking down at herself. She doesn't want to go inside like the bar, like the way she is and whatnot. She's like, "Can you please check where I can bathe before I walk into any establishment? Ask them inside if they have any, or if they know around town, or
Is
if
there anyone
anybody's
in the
willing to be a
streets,
good
Rob?
patron."
Get there first.
Is anyone in the streets? I only
Roll
need one.
perception.
Roll a
You'll find.
perception check.
No, there'll be at least one person. There'll be at least one person. You
Well,
see,
Fucking town
as you
full of
guys,
rogues.
as you guys head, you just come from that town. As you head down the east way into town proper, you've entered the east gate. You start kind of drifting towards the town centre. You see the kind of more derelict, almost looking abandoned town hall, and you kind of open like the Traders Square that is long since not being
Not
used.
been-
You see a couple of people within the trade area. And one of them you do recognise. It's actually the gentleman who you viciously interrogated at the Black Iron Blades, the blacksmith.
I was not part of that interrogation. Smithy.
And it's the and he turns and kind of double takes, and you can just kind of see his features drop a little bit. And he's
Yes,
just like,
I am aware that my companions were a little bit eager last time we were here. I need somewhere to bathe. Where can I bathe?
some the Northlook, if they've got rooms free. Other than that, most folk just make do with what they got at home.
You got a bath?
Got a trough of snow melt. It's cold, but better than nothing, I guess.
You don't know cold.
I don't. Oh, not me. Sorry.
To lean
Um,
into Gentle
to-
Steps, be like, "Should we try them?"
To be honest with you,
Yeah. Don't worry for it.
he
Put a trap for her or something.
Can we
since you
try an actual bath? Oh,
since you guys left, or since you were last in town, there's not a lot of firewood left. A lot of the fires are almost rationed out. We only really heat stuff when we need to, and the forges have been cold for best part of 3 days now.
I can help with that.
I'll just look at Jen and be like,
Yes.
Need you-
Just go to the north.
Thank you very
Go-
much. We'll be back. We're gonna sleep. We travelled a lot.
kind
We'll come and
of
talk to you.
while he's talking to you, he's kind of looking past you at Ardry.
"Oh yeah."
Don't worry about her.
I've remembered who he is now. I remember. I'm like,
I was waiting for him, like, "Ooh."
Have a good evening. Celine, we can go to the north. Look, they have baths there.
Rather quickly scurries inside with his workmate, and the door
horse
gets rather quickly.
Andrea's really tempted to pull out a dagger and throw it at the door.
Are you two three good with the north look?
Bougie,
Yes.
And that's where we shall head.
Let's go.
Okay. You head, unsurprisingly, northward. You head past the Black Iron Blades. You head for about 5-10 minutes
I'll stop.
to almost to the gatehouse itself, and you can see the north gate and another similar stretch of road venturing out into the wilderness. You almost see the silhouette of the very faint outline of the peak of Covenant's Cairn, long in the distance, and right up against the outer wall, you can see the North Look Inn and Tavern. Those who've been in Bryn Shindar, again, it's a bit of a touristy trap. It's almost got this fake rough and tumble feel about it. It's almost like they've dirtied it up and kind of manufactured it to make it feel like a mercenary rogues, thieves guildy style underbelly tavern, when really it's super commercial. Everything's a little bit overpriced and probably a little bit diluted. And they kind of milk.
Before we go in, I'll give Celine my winter cloak, which should be big enough to wrap her.
Comfortably.
Yeah. And battery. And veil.
Just calm on.
But not Elkis.
Alex just fold it underneath somewhere. It's fine. Roam around the feet like a kitty cat.
Just legs that get out of bottom.
Okay.
In the town.
You enter the North Look.
I'm a little still apprehensive and just kind of like.
It's a little bit of a sad sight. You go in and you can see there's a couple of sort of full-time drink nurses kind of perched up at the bar, sort of elderly. There's an elderly dwarf and kind of this rough, unkept-looking human. They seem to just be very, very small talk between them and occasionally drinking out of tankards. Most of the tavern, a lot of the chairs are up on tables. There's a couple of tables that have been prepared, but almost 3/4 of the tavern seems derelict. Half the lanterns haven't been lit. A lot of the tables doesn't seem to be wiped down for a long time, and the stools and chairs seem perched upon all but 2 of them. And you can see up at the bar, kind of making small talk with the 2 patrons, is this built, weathered, kind of rough-looking human, with just this look of misery about him. It just looks like a place where like dreams just go to die. Basically, it's just very. There's not a lot else to do, and the people here this is their life now.
Hello. We would like 5 beds for the night and access to a bath, please.
Don't know if you've heard the news. Tourist season's not been on for some time.
We're not tourists.
Not many people looking for rooms these days.
It's 5 here.
There's 5 here. We're really tired. Have you got rooms?
Yeah, they're all empty. Haven't had much patronage of
How many you
late.
got?
Can we fill 5 of them?
If you want 5 rooms, I can do you 5 rooms.
How many rooms you got?
8 in total.
How much for all 8?
Kind of looks at you and gives you a bit of a look up and down. All 8 for the night. 4 gold.
I put over 4 gold.
Sure you want all 8?
I do. If anyone else comes in needing the room, give them the other 3.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
He kind of gives you a bit of a knowing look, and now that you're a little bit closer to him, you can see there's a number of calluses and a few scars on the back of his hand, and down the side of towards the back of his neck, which he kind of subconsciously keeps sort of scratching the back of his. He's got almost just like not not a dress tunic, but like a casual kind of linen shirt on, but you can see there is still what appears to be an old knife belt that kind of just hides around the back. You see a number of kind of, it looks like he's been out and about and he's kind of lived the life beyond the city walls. He kind of looks at you guys and sees the state Celine's in, and probably the state Ardry's in as well. With the you got axed in the face with a great axe yesterday, knocked unconscious. You don't look great. Give me that look.
It's clean.
Yeah, but your hair is covered in it.
Rusty blood.
No, my hair's always been red.
Dare I ask what it is you do for a living, or is that a question best left unanswered?
It's nothing shady, my friend. We just happen to have gold.
Some trouble out in the world.
Try to make our little area of this world a better place.
Not many of those types left. Everyone's given up. We used to have a few people coming in at the end of the day looking not dissimilar to yourselves, after trying to make the world a bit brighter. Less and less. Don't know if they've just given up or got themselves killed.
Well, I suppose the difference between them and us is that we didn't start off this way. We lived different lives. This was kind of thrust upon us, so we have a different perspective.
No one's
see a chance of giving up.
I don't think many people choose this life. It's nice to see that not everyone's given up at least, and there's still some people putting in the work, trying to do what they can.
The ones that goes.
Go on.
Oh, the ones that gave up because they went straight into trying to be heroes. They only saw the romanticized side of it, not the brutality behind it.
Drink to that. I've lost a few young lads out in my day who've wanted to play hero and got themselves in more trouble than they could handle. Better off looking after yourselves. Don't pick fights you can't handle. Too many people lost. Look, it seems like you've had a rough day. Round on the house before I get your rooms. And he almost just throws 5 grubby shot glasses on the desk and plonks a bottle of this dark amber liquid on the desk, on the worktop, and I'll back in a minute. I'm just gonna get your key.
Baths. We need a bath. I'll run it myself. Just show me where it is.
That's
I'll
plural
back off.
at this point.
And he kind of leans around. If you go back, around the back of the inn, see a courtyard, past the hitching posts. You see the outhouse. There's a bath in there, water in the pails.
Is it just the one?
So, yeah, just the one.
No worries.
No heating.
I'll sort that. And I'll go out to the bath. And
Come on, Andrew.
I will...
Shot.
Gentle
What?
steps will fill the bath, bonfire the fucker till it's hot, and then I'll go looking for Celine.
Okay.
Lovely
This
man.
probably take while that's happening. After a few moments, the gentleman comes back and he hands you. He takes 5 keys off of a ring of 8 and hands one each to you. Just go second set of stairs there in the corner. Just up to the top. It's the first 5 rooms you come to. Appreciate the coin. I'll make sure the other 3 go to people who need them. It's quite nice to see a little bit of kindness left in these lands.
You and me both.
Slams back one of the drinks on the table and perches himself back up on the bar and just kind of looks to see what you're gonna do.
Take a shot and swing back.
Okay.
And then I'll look to Andrew like, come on, we have to make ourselves feel presentable for Jenny. He's doing it.
I ain't being presentable for no one. I just want a bath.
You guys.
Come on then.
Yeah, you head out to the outside courtyard, and once upon a time, it's where horses would have been hitched and carts and things would have been in. It seems long since disused. A lot of the fence panels have kind of fallen in, haven't been repaired. A little bit of the wood's rotten, hasn't been maintained. The quarter's a little bit overgrown with these sort of dead grasses, and there's a few dead vines that is kind of black.
It's one of those giant like bat things that are like looks like a giant barrel, like the big ones.
Sure.
Tis now.
Sure, it is now.
I was
Like
very
a
careful
hot
not to
tub.
set the
So it's
wooden
almost,
barrel.
it's almost like a two-person hot tub in it. You can see towards one side of it
Now
is
we
kind of
switch
this
over
metal.
to OnlyFans.
Kind of this-
Fantastic.
There's a kind of metal trough on one
Already,
side of it.
fuck them too.
That's
Sorry.
a metal trough that runs up one side of it, and you can see kind of scorch marks around the metal trough. It would seem that that's what would have been heated up, and then the water, would have been heated through that. And yeah, gentle steps as you see a couple of these big metal jerry cans, medical jerry cans. They've been emptied in, and yeah, you can see his enchanted bonfire that's sitting underneath his metal.
I knew that was happening.
I'll pull 2 of my winter blankets and pass one to Adrian and one to Celine.
Thank you.
Go nuts, and I'll go back into the pub.
Okay. You two are left with a warm bath. The drink, kind of that lingering heat in the back of your throat as the drink kind of knocks a little bit of the day's aches and pains away. Your legs are aching, your feet are tired after the 8-9 hour hike.
I'm going to go full blown Geralt of Rivia and just chill back on one side like this and along the creek. Just chill there and just like.
Cracking cans.
Yeah, and you spend the evening.
Come on, Audrey, get in.
You spend the evening hot tubbing it up. You two. Yeah, it's the water soon clouds with various.
A hand goes on the glass. Never let go, Jack. Never let go. Who the fuck, Jack?
Yeah.
Just when Rob said the water soon cloud. What?
The filth that they're covered in, like a pair of them. Get your head out the
We
gutter.
are filth.
Taking whatever, there was little like
As soon
herbs
as you
and stuff and
said,
just.
as soon as you said, yeah, it's a 2-man hot tub.
It's
Andrew's
not
gone.
that kind of stream.
She's just watching.
Late night radio win.
Hey, it's past 11 o'clock. It can get even worse than after 9 o'clock.
It really
Can
can't.
I-
It really
Can I
can't.
have a look
After
at,
dark.
I'm
No
standing at the
alcohol?
bar. I've not.
Me-
I don't know the
Yeah,
drink.
I've joined Vale. I'm not having a pull in my club.
I am not. I've turned down the drink. I've not purposely not touched it. But can I take out one of the smaller gems from the pouch, sort of not revealing to the obviously nice gentleman how much is in there, but sort of fiddle around for one of the smaller gems. Hopefully one worth around 10 gold pieces, but I wouldn't know.
Not how that works. That is not how that works.
What could this be?
If you are blind picking a jewel out of a bag based on size, you have no idea
Like
how much
going
that
through
is.
dice, going which one's a D20? Like, let me roll this. Oh crap, it's 6.
I'm going for
That's your dice.
A small red one. The
You can't
smallest
see the
red one
colour
that
if
I
you're
can
subtly
find.
putting your hand in your
I
pocket.
can! I'm not! I'm looking! I'm going...
Right, I'll give you a choice. You can either look through for the small red one or do it subtly. You can't...
Just feel.
Alright,
pretty
I'll
small.
reach in, fondle for a tiny one that I can't see the colour of, but I will find the smallest one I can find at a moment's notice,
Okay.
and just slide it across the bar to him and say, I don't know what it's worth, but hopefully it'll bring you something.
That should be like the most expensive gem.
You've paid for the rooms. I can't take this from you. Times are hard enough. It is. Keep your coin. Keep your worth. Even if we're all the coin in the world, there's not a lot. Can't buy food for trying. I've got the equipment I need. It's not much use to me, I'm afraid. Keep
Okay,
it.
I'll take it back.
I know you've earned that, but you've earned it, and you should keep on to things you've earned.
Fair enough.
It's getting late. The 2 other patrons at this point have kind of packed up and staggered, wobbled out the door, and disappeared into the night. Look, I'm going to retire for the night. It's not like we're heaving it. Bottles there's yours on the counter. Just make sure the lanterns are off. The like I said, the rooms are up on the top stairs. Wish you a good night, and hopefully tomorrow brings you better fortune than today.
Yeah, well, we're sure we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for the rooms and the drink.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. And he pulls himself off the bar stool and he heads up the other staircase. You can see now as he heads up there, you see a long, fairly nice, elegant looking dagger in kind of like a sheath horizontal across the back of his belt. Probably, you know, it looks well made, expensive, and well above the status of a barkeep. And he's got a very noticeable limp as he kind of hobbles to the stairs, and it takes him some time to go up the stairs. Like he leans onto the banister, and each step, you know, takes a little bit of time as he shifts his weight. And then you hear a door open and close at the top, and you are left in the tavern. Gentle steps and veil. The glasses and drink available to you, and Elkis. And then the pair of you outside getting cleaned up. And,
when you were describing the dagger, I honestly thought you were going to say tail before you said dagger. So I thought he'd just turn around and there was this big ornate tail following behind. And I'm very
not everyone's a
disappointed
tabaxi. Yeah, and
After
the
that.
rooms are available. The night draws in. And that is where we're going to wrap up this session tonight.
Sweet.
So
We will return to the bath next week.
thank you very much to everyone in the chat, people who came across on the raid, people who've donated, people who've supported us here on Heavyweight Gaming. Very, very, very much appreciated. As always, we play these games because we love the storytelling, we love the process of playing games. We like sharing it with the wider community. We've just gone past, Heavyweight Gaming has just gone past its 1-year anniversary. The community is as welcoming and as fun to be involved in as it was a year ago. It is growing, more and more things are happening, and that is great. And we're happy to be a part of it and continue to be a part of it.
You're very welcome.
On Heavyweight Gaming, there is a smorgasbord worth of stuff happening every week. We've got Carbon on a Thursday. We have
D&D on a Tuesday.
D&D on a
D&D on a
Tuesday.
Sunday. We got D&D on a Friday. We do the
got
odd
all-
one-shots now and then.
So if you want to check out what other things Heavyweight Gaming's got going on, check the schedule, check social media, follow them on all of their bits and pieces. If you want to check the rest of us out, we have our own channel, The Short Rest Tavern, here on Twitch as well. We are currently playing through Candlekeep Mysteries over on Monday nights at 7:30, twitch.tv/The Short Rest Tavern. If any of you are free on Mondays and want to see these guys with different characters in a different setting, we are running through Candlekeep, and you can win yourself a copy of Candlekeep. We are giving away a free copy every single week for those who are tuning in.
For how
So
many
give us a
weeks?
follow for another 8 weeks. We've got 8 more to give out.
Lovely.
So tune in on Monday nights. Give us a like over at the Short Rest Tavern. Stay updated. We're on social media as well. If you want to check out what we've got, what we're doing, and yeah, thank you very much. We always appreciate the support. If Mr. Heavyweight's got anything more to add?
Considering there's 20 of you watching, and most of you won't normally watch us, I don't believe. As Rob said, it has been a year, and when we first started a year ago, the 5 viewers were the players in the game itself. We're now getting into the lofty heights of double figures. We get people subscribing. Pharaoh, you're an absolute legend. Thank you very much if you're still listening. The community is amazing. The people that come along and share these stories with us is exactly why we do it. A year on, lockdown helped, don't get me wrong. We all were going a little bit insane, so we managed to tell stories to each other while the rest of us listen. It's just been amazing, and it will continue to get bigger and better. As soon as conventions and such are allowed, we are planning to turn up at conventions, so we will have heavyweight gaming at some little table. UK Games Expo is on our list, which I believe is in July. I'd have to confirm that.
We'll charge too much for signatures. We'll keep it cheap.
We're looking at $5,000. We're looking to be at that, so keep posted there. Also, every single year we do a charity run. The first year we did Birmingham Children's Hospital. Last year we did Mind, Rainbow Trust and Mermaids. And this year we are looking to do McIntyre charity. There's not a lot of information about it just yet. I will put a big publication up, posty stuff on all our social media to let you all know. But we'll be looking at doing that in the summer. So that will be to raise a few quid for that. Usually we've had a 24-hour stream, we've had a 48-hour stream. I've been banned from doing a 72-hour stream. But what is in the books to do is a single playthrough of a D&D module. Obviously it may need editing slightly to get it done in one sitting and not 4 months. So just keep an eye out for that. But massive love to all those that followed, the gifted subs, the not gifted subs, the primes, just the cheeky little nudges in chat. I do have to say that I didn't get a chance to say last week after our year long, I'm still waffling, it's 11:15, is my mods. Sawdust especially, exceptional. Sitting there and having to watch most of the stuff we do and entertain you lot in chat, legend. Cyrus Limel, who I don't think's on tonight, another mod, amazing. So thank you very much, mods, for keeping the chat entertained while we're talking bollocks and pretending to be fairies. And Goliaths.
Have you seen his command? Exclamation best mod. Sawdust and Swearwords, an amazing mod. Some would say the best.
Well played.
Glad you were fun.
Yeah, no, and thank you very much from us as well. Obviously I think we've been with Heavyweight from the start, haven't we?
A couple of you have.
Yeah. So I've been involved from the start, and it's been great to see the community grow. And like I say, it keeps the game interesting for us. It adds a whole new dynamic to be able to share it with a wider audience and have the kind of, you know, and people willing to spend the time to see what we're up to. It really does help us just, I guess, be more involved in it. It really brings something special to the games. And I think it'd be really difficult now to play a game without the community around it. Obviously, we very much appreciate anyone who can support in any way that they can. The best way to support, other than subs and things, is just to give us a follow and give us a share and spread the word. So if you haven't already, please follow us here at /Heavyweight Gaming and over on our channel at /Short Tavern. Socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, YouTubes, all those sort of things. A follow does go a massive way to help us out. And if you've got people you think will be interested in seeing what we've got going on, spread the love, bring them along, and yeah, we'll keep the good times going.
And for now, say good night, players.
I play.
Good night, players.
Good night. I'm going to bed.
Bye bye.
I'm tired.
Big time.